Just a few months ago, I had beaten the hardest Pokemon game, Emerald Kaizo. But like they say, there's no rest for the wicked. I needed a new challenge to scratch this uncontrollable itch. I would go on to try other difficulty hacks, but I couldn't keep lying to myself. Nothing was hitting the same. The fire was flickering out. But in my greatest time of need, Dexa answered my call.
That is bullshit blazing, still my heart is blazing. If the word kill me, I don't need a new one under you. Soon you will know, we already know the smell of the game.
Pokemon Run&Bun features almost 500 handcrafted battles with heavily modified custom AI, Generation 8 mechanics, and a reimagined Hoenn region. While the Emerald Kaizo and Radical Red DNA is apparent, Run&Bun is a unique experience like no other. There were rumblings that this was the new hardest game on the block. I could feel the hyperfixation coming on. Not only would I attempt this seemingly impossible challenge, but I would do it with Hardcore Nuzlocke rules. This means I can only catch the first Pokemon I encounter at every location. If a Pokemon faints, it's dead and no longer usable. The game also limits me by disabling items in battle, locking me into set mode, and enforcing hard level caps. If my entire team dies, I lose the attempt and have to start over. I would spend the next year of my life dancing with the devil. Over dozens of attempts, I could feel myself getting a little closer each time. But finally, on attempt 76, something special was brewing. This is the story of my attempt to beat a hardcore Nuzlocke of Pokemon Run&Bun. Let's talk starters. The options are Turtwig, Piplup, and Chimchar. This game has arguably the most balanced starter selection out there, with no clear best pick. You can actually just go with your favorite, as they all shine in different parts of the game. I went with Piplup because Empoleon's unique steel and water typing, paired with its utility, fit my playstyle. It's also the cutest of the three, and that just isn't up for debate. After around 55 attempts, I found myself craving variety, so I started spinning the wheel each fresh attempt to let fate decide. On attempt 76, the stars decided I would be returning to Monkey. Infernape is an explosive mixed sweeper with Fake Out, Overheat, and Close Combat, forming a potent offensive core. As soon as this Pokemon comes online, it starts piling up the bodies sky high. They say Ape Runners are brain dead, so this would be perfect for me. The starting pack always sets the pace for the run, and we're looking for big hits like Gossifleur, Growlithe, Fletchinder, Surskit, and Weedle. While it's tempting to reset if you don't pull one of the goats, I try my best to play out every run until the bitter end. Run&Bun does well at scaling your power levels at key points, and many of the strongest encounters become available much later. This is an incredible starting pack, maybe one of the best I've had. Gossifleur's Cotton Down ability lowers the opponent's speed when Gossifleur is hit, completely changing the way you play the game. Growlithe can later be traded for Hisuian Growlithe, who is a handy check to some of the biggest early game threats. Weedle, aside from being a massive cutie, means I'm getting Beedrill. When this Pokemon comes online later in the game, it changes the whole tide of any run. Also, note that I delay Petalburg for a chance to pick up a Poplio much later after unlocking Surf. Fairy types are rare and powerful in this game, with Primarina being a premier Elite Four prospect. As I pack up the lone Aqua Grunt, I'm thinking about my Petalburg Woods encounter on the way to Roxanne, but something is off. The woods are blocked off. This timeline is clearly not the same. This isn't the Hoenn region I remember. I pay a handsome tip to my man Mr. Briny for an express ride to Dewford Town in his little boat. Touching down on the Dewford shores also nets me another group of useful encounters. My Dewford pack gets me a Farfetch'd Galar in the grass, a Spheal from Route 106 fishing, and a Horsey from Route 107. Granite Cave is packed with a variety of strong encounters on each floor. An Ice Room for the culture versus Room 1F for sweaty optimization is always an internal struggle. Togedemaru is an incredible early game carry and mid to late game support. I'll even go as far as calling it the protagonist of Run&Bun. I always try to delay Granite until I've pulled Route 110 to see if I grab a Pokemon with a static ability. This gets me a coin flip to encounter Togepi. After meeting with Steven Stone in the back room of Granite Cave, he asks me to deliver the Devincourt parts to Captain Stern in Slateport City. I hop back on the Briny boat and sail over to the Route 109 beach. I fish up a Corphish here before battling my way through the beach to the city entrance. As I stroll along the boardwalk, I see Aqua Grunts, just like the one from the woods, storming the Slateport Museum. They're here to intercept the care package delivery for Captain Stern. They want the Devincourt parts for a submarine, but they're gonna have to get through me first. This is the first of many back-to-back fights with no healing or team changing in between. a gauntlet if you will. The second Grunt's Frillish goes crazy on me, packing in both Farfetch'd Galar and Palpitoad. 90% of runners would reset the run at this point, but a box of encounters this strong is worth fighting an uphill battle for. After driving the Grunts off, I beat the brakes off Camper Gavi on Route 110 to scoop up my first rare candy. Wait a minute, my first? All the leveling I've done up to this point was actually using the separate unlimited candy. Run&bun introduces a unique new resource system. Rare candies are now a limited resource that allow you to raise a Pokemon's level above the current level cap. There are only 14 in the entire game. Additionally, there are 30 heart scales available along the way. One heart scale lets a Pokemon relearn a move, with some moves being exclusively from this mechanic. One scale can also max out any single IV to the max of 31. 3 scales allows you to change a Pokemon's nature. This resource system makes for interesting decision making and creative skill expression. Camper Gavi also guards the Route 110 grass, so I run it up and pull a Shinx, which means no static manipulation. That being said, I boat back to Dewford to revisit Granite Cave and pick up that delayed encounter. I pull a really solid Rhyhorn, and now it's time to take on my first gym. Having the perfect encounters to build a riskless Brawly line is very unlikely, so in most attempts, I take bigger risks here than I normally would. The way I see it, worst case scenario, I get bodied and just get a fresh run back to Brawly in under an hour. Brawly serves as the perfect introduction to Run&bun's unique and innovative custom AI. I've brought in a challenge run expert to give a crash course on some of the important AI quirks and patterns that you should know about.
Hey, I'm the run&bun artificial intelligence, and you just killed my Pokemon. That's a bit rude, so I'm gonna have to do something about that. First, I want to send out something that can outspeed and one-hit KO you. If I can't fight that, I'll settle for a slower Pokemon that can still one-hit KO and isn't killed in return. What if I don't have either of those? Then I'll check to see if I have something that's faster and outdamages you. If I don't have that, I suppose I can settle for a slower Pokemon that outdamages you. Okay, fine. I'll take what I can get. My final check is to see if I simply have any Pokemon that outspeed yours. If I fail all of these checks, then I'll just send out the next Pokemon in my party order. Sometimes I'm feeling a little sneaky and I might have a Ditto or Wobbuffet. Those guys have their own unique switching habits. They're very rare though, so I'll keep it simple and let's just say I'll send them in as long as they're not slower and one-hit KO'd. Okay, students, now let's go fight Brawly.
Brawly has just returned from a training retreat at Mustard's dojo, and he's eager to flex his new Cubfu. Fletchinder is my favorite lead I've brought here. Alternating cycles of Growl and Roost safely bottom out Cubfu's attack. It's even safe to fish for Flame Body procs. After setting up shop, Fletchinder lobs the assist to Monferno to optimize bait order. With Cubfu down, take note of the move Retaliate. After an ally dies, this attack gets double power. This means Lopunny comes in, seeing the outspeed Oko into Monferno. Monkey rips a clean Mach Punch to trigger the eject button, shattering Lopunny's ankles and baiting out Combuskin. The speed boosting chicken is typically one of Brawly's biggest threats if you don't have a Palpitoad, Diggersby, or the ever so rare early Kingdra. Combuskin can work up or double kick here, and it just goes full aggro. Monferno skillfully dodges all the crits and wins the 1v1. Lopunny's back out with another boosted Retaliate, but since Monferno has a sliver of health, it's just a 1 in 3 chance. My incoming Rhyhorn tanks a headbutt with ease, baiting a Drain Punch in the Eldegoss to proc Cotton down. I run this pivot several times for speed control into Fletchinder. The plan is to farm as many Growls as I can while roosting up as needed. Almost immediately, Fraud Body procs, making this matchup completely free. Now for the biggest menace on the average Brawly fight. Hitmontop is holding Protective Pads, effectively shutting down any more Flame Body tomfoolery. The Technician ability boosts Hitmontop's damage output to deadly levels in the early game, and Pursuit Trapping is a killer if you don't route properly. Head-on confrontations are unlikely, and it's going to take the whole squad to topple this beast. Eldegoss pivots on Fake Out for a Cotton Down drop to give Beedrill the speed advantage. Beedrill tanks a Mach Punch and U-turns into Rhyhorn on Rock Slides. Rinse and repeat as we rack up hit and run chip damage onto Hitmontop. There's an important interaction here to keep in mind for later. In Run&bun, when you outspeed and kill an AI Pokemon with priority on its set, it will always choose priority moves. If any of their other moves kill, however, priority has a 9 in 10 chance. Once Hitmontop is in kill confirmed range for Fletchinder, I bring our heaviest lifter back out to clean up. Now Poliwhirl usually involves baiting Superpower to abuse the attack and defense drops. This is the easiest matchup for my box, and it's just girl dinner for Eldegoss. The cherry on the sundae is a crit 1-tap, bringing us to the final, often rage-inducing member of Brawly's squadron. Scraggy's holding an Eviolite, effectively giving it 105 base defense and special defense. Rock Tomb speed drops and power-up punch attack boosts make for frustrating AI patterns. And finally, Rest best, paired with a shed skin ability, top off Scraggy's bag of nasty tricks. Luxio makes a solid check with 4x super effective coverage via Covet, and Intimidate nullifying the incoming power-up punch here. Now, for another quick study break on how setup AI works.
Artificial intelligence again. I know I'm an AI, but I'm not stupid. If you can one-hit KO me or have the unaware ability, I won't use setup moves. Also, if I have the sturdy ability or I'm holding a focus sash, I know you can't one-shot me. As a general rule of thumb, as long as I'm not slower and 2-hit KO'd, I'll consider using a setup move. And keep in mind, I see guaranteed boosting moves like power-up punch and charge beam as setup. I do have some other niche conditions I might consider, but what is this? Most of the time, those basic rules will get you by. Great work, class. Now back to Brawly.
After trading blows, Scraggy takes a nap and fails the shed skin chance, sealing my victory over the first gym of Run and Bun. Yeah, most boss fights are this sweaty, with some taking multiple sessions to cook. The Petalburg Woods entrance is no longer blocked, so I can head back to the mainland to Rustboro City. The Roxanne split is very short, with just a handful of fights before the gym. This is a light, feel-good section to catch some encounters and take a breather. I catch a Shroomish in Petalburg Woods and a Makahita from Route 116. I'll be delaying Route 115 for chances at a ghost type after I get Surf. And Rustboro itself is also delayed to pick up a fossil much later. Most importantly, I trade away my Growlithe for Hamilton the Hisuian Growlithe. Take note that the Met location is flagged as obtained in a trade, so the Rustboro City encounter remains open for later. The gym trainers in Rustboro are probably the only easy ones in this game, so we can jump right into the Roxanne battle. I still have my rare candy from the Brawly split, so I feed it to my little crustacean to bring a big bad Crawdaunt to Roxanne. Her Bisharp holds a focus sash preventing Okos, so Breloom Mach punches to break the sash, running it back for the kill, and baiting in Lunatone. If Lunatone gets the 1 in 10 Omni boost from Ancient Power, or the sharp stat boost from proccing its weakness policy, I'm going back to the truck. Hariyama is one of the stronger checks in this matchup, as it doesn't bait Ancient Powers and can soak stored powers easily. One Fake Out and one Focus Palm chip it down just enough to finish with a payback, also playing around the weakness policy. Caracosta is another Ancient Power packing threat, but Eldegoss is a premier answer. After breaking Rindo Berry, Caracosta spams Aqua Jets, so I can just synthesis up and stay healthy enough to bait out Aurorus over Zygarde. This is very important for my strategy. One Leaf Tornado later and Longneck hits the field. Aurorus is easy pickings for monkey runners. The Refrigerate ability turns normal moves into Ice type, so Monferno tanks Body Slam and claps back with a low sweep Oko. Roxanne's next Pokemon is the legendary Zygarde that spawned a certain infamous Reddit discourse on why Run and Bun allegedly fails as a Kaizo hack. While putting the dog down is often a risky job, I do have the tools this time. Here's the setup. Mightyena one-shots with Ice Fang, but it needs to be faster to do so safely. I pivot through Eldegoss into Hariyama, then back to Eldegoss to drop Zygarde by 2 speed. Mightyena now has a safe line to win the dogfight and bait out Solrock. Breloom pivots into Rock Slide, baiting a free Psycho Cut into my brand new Crawdaunt. Sadly, I do lack Shell Armor, but we're never dead to crit from full. Knockoff is just a clean Oko, netting me an even cleaner badge number 2. The Twisted timeline seems to have stabilized for now, so the usual Route 116 to Mauville pipeline is intact. I grab the rare candy on Route 116, blasting through the trainers straight to Rusturf Tunnel and picking up a Gligar. On the other side of the tunnel, another encounter awaits, and I'm lucky enough to pull an incredible Roselia. On Route 117 though, I pick up what might just be my favorite Pokemon of the entire run. Berserker is relatively slept on in this game, never making it very high in power rankings, but as you'll later see, my fierce little Viking goes on to overperform big time for me. The Big Cat is an amazing assist role player that would come to as many fights as the top shelf run carries. At the end of Route 117, a new challenger awaits me. Shell is the route mini-boss, acting as a second rival of sorts. Her roster just feels incredibly disrespectful if I'm gonna be real with you. Scope Lens Super Luck Togekiss is a crit machine gun, with air slash crits being guaranteed. Silk Scarf Delcatty with a normalize ability has a troll set with just 2 attacks. After using Fake Out, you're getting slammed by Sky High base power last resorts. If you don't have a normal resist, you're cooked. The main event though is her ace, the Hellspawn RNG Nightmare, Galarian Slowbro. With the held Quick Claw and the Quick Draw ability, Slowbro G has about a 44% chance to move first each turn. Also, you better make the correct pivots or you're getting trapped by Whirlpool and getting put in the blender. I pulled up the shell with some of the best answers I've ever had. Hariyama handles Lapras on the lead, with Luxray clutching the Togekiss crits. Berserker shows Delcatty which cat really has 9 lives, and my Breloom handles the incoming Rhyperior with ease. The Rhino does stealth rocks, but Gligar still swaps in easily to exterminate Vespiquen. Most notably, however, Crawdon is just about the best Slowbro G-check in the entire game, walling its set and one-shotting with Black Glass's boosted knockoff. Shell's headed to the Verdant Turf contest hall to do unemployed things, but I have a feeling we might see her again. Hitting Mauville City marks a nice power-up to my box with many final evolutions coming online. Looking ahead at Watson, I can go ahead and lock in some decisions here. If I feed my monkey a rare candy, I can get an Infernape right now. Ape Runners love the auto-spend 2 heart scales for Fake Out and Overheat at this point, but I can't afford both. I need to scale Encore Walrein for Watson. The best I can do for Monferno right now is scaling Fake Out before I pull up to Watson for the gym fight. Speaking of Fake Out, Floatzel is just the guy to break Magnezone's sturdy ability. This safely opens the floor for Gligar to pick up the kill and bait Watson's Lantern. Walrein soaks a light tickle from Ice Beam and begins setting up shop. I need to butter up Lantern for Rhydon to 1v1. This is going to be a lot. A pivot through Rhydon baits Scald into Eldegoss, topping off with Synthesis as Lantern Thunder Waves. This now means Ice Beam into Walrein is guaranteed, and Encore locks Lantern into an endless loop. Walrein takes the opening to Icy Wind and set up speed control for Rhydon. Rock Smash on the follow-up drops Lantern's defense right as Encore ends. Finally, the stage is set for Rhydon to come in, outspeed, and Oko Lantern. The mythical Zeraora hits the stage. Yeah, it's becoming apparent to me that battles from here on out will continue lobbing legendaries at me. Rustdrift Tunnel is blocked for construction, so the only way to the 4th gym back in Petalburg is the Cycling Road. While there are a lot of fights here, they're just warm-ups that get ran through as I shift into high gear for the next boss. My Cycling Road bike tour is about to come to a screeching halt. As I hit the Slateport Petalburg connector, I see a particularly menacing cyclist looming on the overpass. On average, the Cycling Road rival is one of the riskiest early game fights. May's team changes based on your starter, but one frightening constant is the Indeedee lead setting up Psychic Terrain off-rip. In this timeline, all flavors of terrain are permanent, unless you can break it with Steel Roller. There are only 5 Pokemon in the entire game with access to this move, including Dhelmise, Miltank, Wailord, Quillfish, and Togedemaru. They're all very rare, and right now, I only have access to Togedemaru, whom I missed. Needless to say, we're dancing in the terrain. The standard lead doesn't get one-tapped by Indeedee, so it's highly likely to set Light Screen or Reflect first. Ideally, Crawdon can deal enough damage through Reflect and finish with Brick Break. Indeedee goes full aggro, and Crawdon dodges a crit to spill First Blood. Indeedee is down with no screens up. This is perfect. Breloom pivots through Swamper's Earthquake, baiting Curse or Avalanche into Walrein. Either way, it's a safe line to get a round of applause. Swampert gets locked into Curse as Walrein runs the Encore Brian loops until May's starter falls. Her incoming Hawlucha is the first big scary threat of this fight. In a vacuum, Hawlucha is a menacing offensive presence, so why not give the asshole more toys while we're at it? Psychic Seed pops immediately, raising its special defense and unlocking its Unburden ability, doubling its speed. Outspeeding every obtainable encounter at this point is pretty cool, so why not throw in some swords dances too? Go ahead, why not make those close combats hit even harder? Intimidate Luxray is my answer, and it's knife's edge even from full health. I have to take my best outs here, sacrificing Breloom for tempo. After close combat defense drop, Luxray has the Oko, but it is dead to 1/3 of crits. Alright, we're dead to high rolls of CC crit, right? How many rolls kill me? Alright, 1 in 3 crits kill me. Oh my god, Hawlucha, calm down, dog. Ooh, good boy, barely hangs on by a thread, so we're still in it. The next matchup is actually a bit of a breather after sweating over Hawlucha. As Serena gets curb stomped by Infernape, my mind is already on Gardevoir. My box has nothing capable of a raw 1v1, so I'm gonna need all hands on deck. Crawdon has to pivot into Floatzel, dodge a crit, then get a hit in as I sacrifice Floatzel for Infernape to clean up. Come on, buddy. You're kidding. Okay, that's really bad. It's pedal to the metal and I'm desperate as I scramble to save my run. Here's the plan. Walrein dodges a side shot crit and encores it. Crawdon switches in for free and takes a chunk of health with knockoff. Encore ends, and I sacrifice Luxray for Infernape to finish the job and chain kill Houndoom. It's over. May cruises off, leaving me down 3 bodies, bleeding out on my bike. Run&bun dishes out hard punishment just for getting slightly unlucky sometimes. These situations really teach you not to be scared of losing a Pokemon, because sometimes going blood for blood is better than losing the entire run. There aren't any heart scales or rare candies to be had in this split, but there is one reward. The Altering Cave lies just beyond the cycling road, and there's a strong spread of encounters. Anything but Porygon is huge value here. Oh my fucking... Dude, that is just like with all the bad RNG today, this is just the icing on the cake, right? Of course, I can't hide my disappointment, but if there's one challenge I love in Nuzlocke, it's squeezing all the juice out of underrated and overhated encounters. The map design here feels reminiscent of Dark Souls, and a few fights later, I'm back at the beginning where it all started. The Petalburg Mart has expanded their inventory, and I pick up the Razor Fang to evolve Gligar into Gliscor. The Dragon Fang for Kingdra is available too, but I'm delaying this evolution for Ice Beam as long as I can afford it. This is very much a luxury delay that's just a nice to have. Petalburg Gym features 7 rooms, each based on a different theme like speed, accuracy, crit, and so on. The routing here is typically dependent on your box's ability to handle the strength or recoil room at the end. Strength room features a choice band slacking with Giga Impact as its only move. This time around, I had nothing to beat the sloth, so my end game is very clear. My path takes me through the accuracy, recovery, and recoil rooms. I could make the millionth deadbeat dad joke about Norman here, but the truth is, in this game, your old man commands respect. Norman is the final gatekeeper of the run-and-bun mid-game. Everything is a threat here, and this might just be the hardest gym leader relative to the available tools. Norman's lead has bolstered defenses from its held Eviolite, so don't even think about a clean kill. Porygon 2 really wants to Thunderwave my Infernape. In the off chance it tri-attacks, not only am I dead to crit, but one of my key players is crippled off the jump. This time, we got the good timeline, as Infernape Cherry Berry parries the Paralysis, and double Sky Uppercuts the Dastardly Duck. Bunny number 1 hops into the arena. Azumarill's set is walled by Roserade, but Huge Power still hits for disgusting damage. Since Roserade shows killing rolls, Azumarill keeps spamming Aqua Jets. I take the opening to Worry Seed, neutralizing Huge Power and padding my survivability. Meloetta is baited next, so let's quickly dive into the unique mechanic on its set. Relic Song is a 75 base power normal type special attack with a chance to inflict sleep. Upon use, Meloetta takes off the training weights, shifting into the fighting normal type pirouette form. This attack mode is built to kill, featuring an adjusted stat line turning Meloetta into a fast, heavy-hitting physical attacker. If Meloetta doesn't see a kill, it goes for Relic Song, and if multiple moves kill, Relic Song will override them. This attack can only be avoided if another move can kill with no overlap from Relic Song. Roserade baits 50-50 Body Slam and Zen Headbutt here, and Mightyena wins the coin flip for a free switch. As Meloetta chants its deadly song, Mightyena snipes a quick Sucker Punch into base Meloetta for huge damage. Gliscor switches into Pirouette's close combat, then shrugs off the Body Slam Paralysis into the killing blow. Cinccino's held King's Rock grants a flinch chance to each attack. With Skill Link maxing out its multi-hit moves to 5 hits, this little rat has around a 40% flinch rate. I didn't score an Inner Focus user or Togedemaru with Iron Barbs, so I'm setting up Berserker the best I can to fraud Cinccino. With Intimidate support from Mightyena, the mighty Viking Cat is up. Berserker dodges every flinch, killing with Iron Head and taking this fraud to the bank. The ground trembles as Himmersby approaches. Mightyena has played an incredible support, but Huge Power Diggersby holding a Focus Sash demands perfect positioning. Mightyena is sacrificed for the tempo reset to position Infernape. Fake Out breaks the Focus Sash, but Sky Uppercut slightly misses the range. With Mightyena's Intimidate still lingering, Diggersby damage output isn't a threat anymore. Quick Attack tickles my monkey before Mach Punch drops Diggersby for good. And finally, Father's Ace, the big ass bird with the really cool hair. Mega Pidgeot's No Guard ability grants perfect accuracy to all moves, letting it rip massive hurricanes without fail. Its cry also has insane reverb and volume, blowing out the player's eardrums with Hyper Voice to attack their life points directly. Hisuian Arcanine just so happens to be one of the few premier checks the Pidgeot, boasting a perfect typing to tank its entire set. Persimberry shrugs off the confusion, letting Rock Slide connect. The damage rolls very low, and Extreme Speed only has a tiny chance to clean up now. Hammy misses the range again and gets confused again by Hurricane. I'm in a poor position to risk the invaluable Hamilton or sacrifice something else to get him back in scot-free. Easy fucking game. Let's go. All right, we're looking good. Run's looking good. I think the run's looking good. Ears, my ears. I didn't choose the ball hard lifestyle, baby. It chose me. Rest easy, driver. Your shift is over. Welcome to the mid-game. Flannery is the next big milestone, and this split is longer than everything before it combined. Passage through the desert requires paying the troll toll at the Windstraight family checkpoint. They have a monopoly on rare exotic items, including the Go Goggles. The Windstraights don't take cash payment, and a 4-fight gauntlet is the price. This seems daunting, but the main threat is building around the Mega Medicham on the last leg. I wiped the floor with the first 3 family members positioning perfectly for the endgame. A couple pivots and protects from Crawdaunt have Medicham tripping over itself, taking massive recoil from flubbed high jump kicks. Vicky's Reptile gets the claws too, and Crawdaunt slices up Crocodile for the crawfish replacement in the low country boil recipe. The Windstraight family business operations are put to a halt, and I've scored a fresh pair of Go Goggles. Now it's time for a beach episode. Well, it's kind of like the beach, except it's only the worst parts. Along with the sand in my trunks, the Desert Trek features permanent sand for each fight. The battles here are built to be a pain in the ass. Bright Powder and Sandville combined leave fully accurate moves at just a 67% hit chance. This 2-piece special is all over the desert on top of other frustrating mechanics. At the entrance, I scoop up a Dwebble, pushing through to the Mirage Tower. I'm going for Drillbur or Laron here, but I land a ball toy. This sadly feels a bit underwhelming, but Claydol just might come in handy for a certain job much later. I also grab the weird fossil, and the tower crumbles forever as I dash for the exit. The Devincorp lab back in Rustboro City can revive one of any random fossil, excluding the Gen 8 abominations. Aerodactyl, Archeops, and Shell Armor Amistar are widely agreed to be the best 3. After taking a lap outside, the scientist hands me the second coming of Lord Helix. Sadly, the ability is the less useful Swift Swim, but still, this is an excellent pickup. Back in the desert, I steal a sticky barb from Collector John. This strange held item inflicts damage to the holder, coming in clutch for some niche situations. I continue up Route 111, noticing the entrance to Route 112 is barricaded by Magma Grunts. The end of Route 111 is guarded by the infamous Pokemon Emerald speedrun killer, Cool Trainer Brooke. The desert trainers and their sand teams didn't stand a chance against her hail, but I pack her up like a snow cone and advance to Route 113. I want Scorpy here for its great typing and battle armor ability, and I actually managed to pull one. Don't be fooled by the beautiful volcanic ash cascading down from the sky, because this route has its fair share of demons. The 2 little brats, Tori and Tia, are infamous for their nasty team built around Shadowtag Gothitelle. This is one of the biggest roadblocks in the mid-game, with seemingly safe lines falling apart if you bait Gothitelle at the wrong moment. The end of the route features an optional double that can be done as 2 singles. To gain access to the Shed Shell on the ground, you must do them as a double built around the Lightning Rod ability. A Shed Shell lets the holder escape from trapping moves, abilities, and effects. And trust me when I say this will be extremely important later. I clear the whole route without any problems, but the whole time I can't help but feel like somebody is following me. With the Shed Shell in hand, Fall Arbor Town is in my sights, but a threat looms just beyond the Pokemon Center. The Windstraight family mafia has called a hit on me after I foiled their black market operation to monopolize the Bright Powder manufacturing in Hoenn. Their assassin traversed the desert underpass smuggling tunnels to get ahead and ambush me. Enter Windstraight Vito. This marks another Gatekeeper-esque fight into the next section. Alakazam's combination of Inner Focus and Focus Sash shuts down the classic Fake Out into Oko combo. That Drapion I just picked up happens to have the perfect typing to trivialize this matchup. Vito's Crobat is baited next, tickling Arcanine with a little belly rub, doing baby damage.
Baby man, little baby man.
Big Dog gets territorial and double taps Crobat with Rock Slide into extreme speed. Crawdaunt wants to Aqua Jet here, so it's an easy switch for Eldegoss. After Cotton Down procs, the now slower Crawdaunt is forced into Aqua Jet spam. This leaves a window to heal up and take the kill once Eldegoss is low enough to bait Breloom. Gliscor has the firepower to dominate Vito's Breloom, but mine's a bit too slow. A pivot through Eldegoss and back in the Gliscor plays out as a repeat of the Crawdaunt matchup. Once Gliscor has speed control, Breloom spams Bullet Punch, getting folded by Fly. Vito runs a unique special attacking Swallow set, but it's taking recoil with each hit. Amistar's typing lets it hold just enough to burst Swallow down with Ancient Power. Vito has one final ace up his sleeve, and it's one that lacks many strong answers. Mega Aggron is a juggernaut of a threat, but my sources tell me he gets tummy aches from spicy food. I have just about the best answer in Talonflame. This Nashville hot chicken combo meal walls Aggron and burns away its offensive presence with Will-O-Wisp. A steady cycle between Roost and Acrobatics slowly whittles down Aggron, outlasting its now measly damage output. The Windstraight Assassin is dispatched, and he makes a run for it. Surely, this is the last I see of this guy, right? With the next level cap unlocked, I do some light housekeeping and add a shiny new Copperajah to the lineup. Since I was able to revive a fossil this run, the desert underpass is open, and I can pick up another encounter in the very tunnels Vito used to jump me. Scolipede joins the party, and I continue onwards to Route 114. We've got some tricky fights coming up, with the highlight being Expert Nancy. Her Bronzong lead is holding an Iron Ball, which have speed and grounds flying or levitating Pokemon. Due to the AI distinguishing between slow kills and fast kills, this item is one of, if not the most, important for double battles. Now here's the funny part. You need the Bronzong to use Trick to get that Iron Ball, and if you're unlucky, it can just explode or never even use Trick. Meanwhile, there's an Arena Trap Dugtrio in the back with Final Gambit. The routing puzzle can be mind-numbing. Right before this fight, I go for a grass encounter, adding Corviknight to the squad. This happens to be an excellent lead for Nancy. Feather Dance and Roost easily keep Bronzong under control while Corviknight heals up, scoring me that shiny new Iron Ball. Now, I'm no stranger to gauntlets at this point, but the path through Meteor Falls pits me against 7 trainers. I can heal between these, but once my 6 are decided, I'm locked until I win or wipe. Each fight on its own is pretty manageable, with a few standouts that should be respected. Black Belt Knobs Beware can often be hard to 1v1 without risking crits unless you have an ever so rare fairy type. Battle Girl Cindy's Technician Hitmontop holding a Life Orb has multiple priority moves for awkward baiting, and Collector Hector's Zangoose can sweep with Toxic Boost Stab Facades once its Toxic Orb activates. I pick a strong 6 to get me through. I brought Corviknight, Drapion, Eldegoss, Infernape, Amistar, and Talonflame. This potent lineup honestly just stomps all over this gauntlet, and it gets handled without any issues. With Meteor Falls officially open, I can guarantee a Gyarados encounter or delay for chances at pseudo-legendaries much later on. I saved this one for a little treat later, packing my bags with water and snacks for a hike up Mount Chimney. Team Magma is already at the summit making preparations for their operation, so the barricade is now gone. But you know what that means. New area means new encounters. I snag a camera up from Route 112 and a Torkoal from the Fiery Path. Both of these Pokemon are great at this point, also making for some great bombs to have in my pocket for later. The grass encounter on Mount Chimney is also open as I arrive, but I delay this for later to try and get a static ability user and bait out an Ampharos. There's one Magma Grunt double battle with Psychic Terrain here, but they serve as a preview to the summer blockbuster movies. Moxi may be the executive head honcho, but Tabitha is the sweaty tryhard trying to impress the boss in hopes of a promotion. On average, most boxes actually have a tougher time with this fight compared to the main event. Tabitha's Quick Claw exploding Torkoal sets permanent Sunwood Drought, setting the stage for Life Orb Espeon to punch holes through every answer you'll consider. Chlorophyll Victory Bell's blistering speed and nasty coverage have few safe answers, and Mega Absol looms in the back with its devastating offensive presence. Camera Up is one of the best leads to bring here, but Torkoal's loadout demands several lines for each possible divergence. Quick Claw Earth Power, Quick Claw Explosion, or the best case scenario, Camel juking the claw and killing with its own Earth Power. I'm now positioned perfectly to handle Espeon, baiting a Psychic into Drapion. The Scorpion just might be the best answer out here for this demon. Sun boosted, Life Orb Weather Ball hits harder than Jesse Pinkman's secret Chili Pea recipe. Battle Armor ensures I never die though, and Citrus Berry always pops, baiting yet another Weather Ball user, Victory Bell. Since it always sees a kill here, Torkoal swaps in with Chesto Berry tucked away safely for later. Big Bell indeed fires off Sleep Powder the next turn, whiffing into my Chesto and getting torched by Heat Wave. Armaldo now threatens Stealth Rocks, and my line can't handle Mega Absol later with Hazards up. As expected, the rocks do go up while Hariyama softens Armaldo before I call in the cleaner. Corviknight has the bulk to defog the rocks away and stay alive long enough to exterminate this big bug. Finally, Mega Absol huffs a measly quad-resisted Fire Blast into Hisuian Arcanine. Held item or not, Absol only goes for knockoff in this matchup, so I went itemless to minimize damage. Hamilton holds comfortably, clapping back with Flamethrower into extreme speed for a clean finish to this horrific boss fight. Remember how I said Moxi is usually easier than Tabitha? Well, in this attempt, the boss man lives up to his name. So what's the big issue? It's not Crustal's awkward double hazards kit, it isn't Wobbuffet's Shadow Tag, nor is it Moxi casually bringing a mythical Zarude. It's not even the Mega Camerupt. My planning pain stemmed from never hitting a safe check to Como. Corviknight, Gliscor, Talonflame, All these seemingly solid matchups just can't do it like a Rabombi. I was scraping the bottom of the barrel, but eventually, I found a pretty unusual answer. First, let's deal with Crustle. This lead is packing spikes and stealth rock, and it's engineered to get those hazards on the field. Sturdy prevents a KO, and Red Card ejects your Pokemon into a random party member when you deal damage. The Sheer Force ability ignores Red Card, so Copperajah breaks Sturdy and lets Crustle get rocks up. A layer of spikes also go up as Claydol switches in with Levitate. Take note that Claydol is pre-poisoned. I'm setting a trap for later. Red Card also doesn't trigger upon death, so Claydol can rapid spin away the hazards and pick up the kill in one turn. Zarude is baited out for Power Whip into Drapion. This monkey is really trying to match my freak, whipping me over and over. Drapion is classy though, and you gotta wine and dine him first. Leech Life teaches some manners, keeping him healthy enough to bait Camerupt over Aerodactyl or Coma. It's time to spring the trap I said earlier. Claydol swaps into Earth Power as Camerupt goes Mega. Claydol has taken exactly enough poison and Hazard's Chip to bait Camel's Flamethrower over Substitute. From here, Amistar easily switches in and Oko's with Surf. And now, the real fun begins. So the answer I found to the Como puzzle, yeah, it's Scolipede. And while it's not perfect, it's the best I've got. After switching into Body Press, I poison it and begin the spin cycle. Dragon Tail has the same effect as Red Card, randomly ejecting Scolipede into Amistar. My entire party was built around typings that pivot safely into any of Como's coverage. Dragon Tail swaps, while annoying, are manageable enough. The idea here is to pivot around and stall as long as possible while poison damage racks up. Finally, once the toxic relationship hits the breaking point, Scolipede comes back in to break it off. Scolipede is safe from Aerodactyl's pursuit range, and it lives to see another day. Berserker switches in, walling Aerodactyl and one-tapping with Ironhead. Big Cat is holding the Shed Shell to escape Wobbuffet's Shadow Tag and tag in Drapion. Wobbuffet helplessly fails move after move as it withers away to Toxic. I may have won the battle, but Team Magma escapes to continue the war. The Jagged Pass entrance is guarded by a double battle, with a 3-fight gauntlet gating safe entry to Lava Ridge Town. Beating the double opens up the grass encounter, netting me another Rock Puppy. After blowing through the gauntlet, I exit the pass, landing in Lava Ridge. There isn't much to do before hitting the Lava Ridge gym, besides picking up a rare candy in the hot springs and grabbing an egg from the nice old lady. This egg always contains a random Hoenn starter, and I hatch a Torchic. The studio execs upstairs told me to pad out the season with another beach episode. Instead of filling every crevice of your bathing suit with sand, get ready to have your face melted. These are by far the toughest gym battles yet. After the first 2 fights is a 3-part gauntlet, and the fights following that are sometimes harder than Flannery herself. I'm grasping at straws, trying to find a safe answer to Battlegirl Danielle's Blaziken. I finally bite the bullet, breaking my Meteor Falls delay to go catch a Gyarados. After surviving the hellscape of Lava Ridge gym trainers, I pull up on the gym leader herself. So, let's take a peek at Flannery's team. It's more of what you'd expect at this point, with mega overrated Charizard Y setting the sun, a legendary in the back, and to top it off, a certain infamous VGC Hellcat. Oh yeah, and by the way, this is a double battle. But what if I told you this fight can be trivialized by one big dog and a brave little chicken? The optimal line is all about building to enable Hisuian Arcanine to go crazy with Rock Slides. Remember the Torchic egg Granny gave me? We're keeping it very underleveled here on purpose. Just as Egon cursed the mighty Bale, our feathered warrior faces beasts of legend, fueled by pure spite. Combuskin, at level 44, baits single target kills from Salazzle and base Charizard while never baiting spread moves. This also prevents Salazzle from ever using Fake Out on Arcanine. This means I get to protect on turn 1 and let the first Rock Slide rip. Charizard sets Drought as it goes Mega and dies immediately. Salazzle also whiffs in the Protect, and its Focus Sash gets consumed. As Charizard exits the stage, Entei takes its place. Now remember that sticky barb I stole from Collector John all the way back in the desert on Route 111? Chicken has it now, and it procs at the end of each turn to chip 1/8 of its health. Pre-damage is disabled inside gyms, so the barb acts as a mid-fight pre-damage for baiting specific moves. Amistar comes in safely now to tank Salazzle's and Entei's attacks, clearing Arcanine to hit Rock Slide number 2. Now Alolan Marowak sees kill into both of my slots, but since Arcanine is faster, it'll fixate on Amistar. Entei only has killing rolls into Amistar, so Lord Helix protects both killing blows as Arcanine hits the 3-peat on Rock Slide. Entei hangs on by a thread as I pivot Corviknight into Solar Beam. Rock Slide number 4 takes them both out. Talonflame and Incineroar hit the field for the planned endgame. Corviknight baits Flare Blitz and Blaze Kick into Kingdra. This opens up the lane for a 5th Rock Slide, killing Talonflame instantly and chipping Incineroar. Finally, Lycanroc switches into Darkest Lariat, and my double dogs feast on Incineroar's 9th life. Somewhere out there, a VGC player sighed in relief. After the massive box refill, it's time to hike through the lush, rainy section through Route 119. Every battle here takes place in permanent rainy weather, but it's all mostly tame. As I near the end and come up on the Weather Institute, I realize something is very wrong here. Team Aqua enforcers are barricading the bridge to Fortress City, and the Weather Institute is under siege. I know exactly what they're after. The experimental Pokemon Castform is said to have weather-bending abilities that would fast-track Team Aqua's plot to invoke unending rain and summon their Dark Lord. The battles within the Institute are tough, but there's nothing too overwhelming for me. The main threats involve the usual hacks RNG-held items we've grown to love on our villain teams. With a little bit of patience and creativity, I managed to craft clean lines. On Grunt 3 though, let's just say I get a little too comfortable. Elias, here, let me show you my chicken. My chicken is, I don't know, it has a plus. Wait, dude, no. Oh my god, don't kill me, please. I'm gonna die. Dude, I meant to click summary. No, please. Oops. Yeah, let's clean up those misclicks. Any more silly mistakes like this will cost me much more than just a few moments of embarrassment. I dial it in for the rest of the Weather Institute, making it to the ringleader of this whole operation. This fight revolves around building a line that baits Shelly's Choice Band Dragonite at the right time to make it manageable. Nihilego is often the gatekeeper in the sequence, packing hazards and some weird AI quirks to make this job much harder. Excadrill and Primarina are the premier duo to build clean strategies here, and I've got neither of them. Oh yeah, and there's a Tornadus and a Mega Blastoise in the back too. Great. A very specific sequence needs to be put into motion. Basculegion on the lead breaks Mienshell's Focus Sash to set up the angle for a Berserker finish. This baits Dragonite much earlier than standard lines. Dragonite is locked into Choice Band Fire Punch, buying Amistar plenty of turns to break through Multiscale and kill. These next few turns would be telling of my chances to get out alive. Nihilego's Meteor Beam has special AI that can be abused. Meteor Beam boosts special attack and starts charging up, firing off the next turn. Power Herb allows charging attacks to move instantly the same turn. When the AI has a Power Herb, Meteor Beam will always override all other moves if it kills. Amistar protects as Nihilego charges, boosts, and fails. With the Power Herb burnt, it will never select Meteor Beam again, so I can now return to making normal reads. My Claydol is Excadrill at home, and it does a similar, albeit slightly riskier job in this matchup. As Claydol switches in, Nihilego really wants to keep tossing Stealth Rocks. After 2 rapid spins to keep the field clear, Claydol outspeeds and kills the Ultra Beast. Next, Hisuian Arcanine swaps into Grass Knot from Tornadus, tanks the Flying Gem boosted acrobatics, and banishes the Genie back to its bottle. And of course, I make my wish before Tornadus gets sealed. Roserade is a perfect answer to Lantern, switching into Scald while being bulky enough to live Ice Beam crits. Blowing Leaf Storm now means a sharp special attack drop, so this is an Energy Ball twice angle. Mega Blastoise's Mega Launcher ability paired with Shell Smash threatens full sweeps on poorly positioned lines, but Roserade has a fresh Leaf Storm in the tank to one-shot the turtle before it can even blink. And that, folks, is how we put the win in Winstitute. After warding off Team Aqua, I'm gifted the artificial Pokemon they were after, Castform. In the Emerald Kaizo timeline, I passed on Castform because who's taking the nutsack over a majestic sea serpent? Come on. Full disclosure, Castform still isn't impressive or useful, but it does come with a 3rd ball in the sack. Now that'll get clicks on the thumbnail. That's right, I'm now the proud owner of a Life Orb. This absurdly powerful item was why I didn't take an encounter on 119, because the Life Orb is honestly worth 3+ encounters alone. Before crossing the bridge, I'm ready for a quick side quest. Only a few Megastones are available for free, and most of them are locked behind tough optional battles. Beedrillite in particular is unlocked after winning a double battle on Route 105. The Hoenn region trembles as the Godslayer is born into the world. Mega Beedrill is officially online. Oh! As I return from my business trip to cross the Route 119 bridge, May jumps me on her bike once again. This fight takes place in a literal thunderstorm, so naturally, there's permanent rain and electric terrain. May's team is built to thrive in these conditions. Swift Swim, Mega Swampert, and Life Orb Gyarados lead with creative threats in the back like Thunder Dragapult and Terrain Pulse Alolan Exeggutor. Since I have Mega Ampharos in my arsenal, the strategy is to run pivot cycles in one slot to draw attacks while my glorious big-haired God of Thunder tears apart the opposition. Pre-damage Crawdaunt baits both attacks into Protect as Electrode Oko's Mega Swampert with Energy Ball, baiting Dragapult. Crawdaunt then switches out the Gliscor to soak Dragapult's Thunder as Electrode Volt switches out the Ampharos, killing Gyarados in the process. Next, Gliscor pivots to Gyarados to tank the incoming Hydro Pump and Flash Cannon. Ampharos goes Mega and kills Dragapult, bringing out Toxicroak. Once again, my other slot is baiting double kills, so Gliscor pops back in to eat both attacks while Ampharos blasts a chunk out of Toxicroak. Gliscor then swaps to Corviknight on Gunk Shot and Flash Cannon as Ampharos finishes off the frog. We're now in the Magnezone and the Alolan Exeggutor endgame of this fight. This is yet another Gliscor pivot, this time for free, into Thunder and Terrain Pulse. Ampharos picks up yet another kill with Dragon Pulse into Exeggutor. Finally, Ampharos could safely rip Thunders in the Magnezone as my other slot keeps pivoting until it's over. May's gonna be dreaming of Electric Sheep after this one. The thunderstorm finally lets up, and a gentle zephyr drafts behind me as I touch down in Fortree City. Before I scale the heights of Winona's treetop fortress, I take a quick breather to go fishing on Route 120. My old friend from Emerald Kaizo is back. Slowbro is even better in Run and Bun, doing so much more than just being a heal bot. We get access to its Mega Evolution later on too. It's time to take on Winona's gym for a chance at Badge 6. I'm feeling incredible going in and my box is looking stacked. That's all about to change. In typical Run and Bun fashion, the first fight of the gym is possibly the hardest. Some even consider Expert Kevin to be the real Fortree gym leader. I spent over 2 hours meticulously crafting a riskless strategy that would require surgical precision. I'm feeling really good about this one. I didn't teach Beedrill Poison Jab. Holy shit. I did forget something. It's a 2 and 3 to just die here. If we live, we can get this to -2. That could be really good. Alright, Eldegoss is dead. So we'll get the 1 speed drop. 07 Eldegoss. Dude, now the problem is I don't know how to get B in on Rotom, you know? Because that's what Eldegoss's job is. Yeah, that's a fair point. I guess I don't want to E-speed this. I guess we just sack. Because B is the only way I'm killing this, you know? The question is, do I want to Leech Life it or do I want to U-turn it? Either way, we got to get B in, yeah. Hammy, 07, buddy. You did great. Let's see if we can somehow win this with no more losses. So I am unfortunately slower. I needed Eldegoss alive. So I probably want to Leech Life, get some health, yeah. Yep, goes for Thunder Wave, I knew it. Let's see if we can hit through. Let's try again. I think am I dead to crit? I live crit. If I don't hit this Leech Life, it's over. Okay. So there's still a chance. Still really messy. Okay, there goes my Lumberry. If I get a defense drop here, we might be cooking. Liquidation again. Yep. That's about what I expected. Now it's just going to spam Ice Beams and it'll recover at some point. I'm going to go for... I think I go for the kill. It can recover. Liquidation I don't think kills. I'm risking freezes. Or no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm parried. Hit through? Okay. Come on, just crit. Just crit. Just crit. Please. Let's fucking go, baby. That's how we steer that shit. Let's go. My mental has taken a massive hit. All I had to do was remember to teach Beedrill Poison Jab. Two of the best encounters in Run and Bun are now dead. As strong as my box still is, Eldegoss and Hisuian Arcanine are devastating losses. Another lesson learned. If I'm gonna beat this game, I need to double, no, triple check everything during planning. A few more blunders like this and my run is dead. With the expert Kevin Disaster living rent-free in my mind, I take out my frustration on the gym trainers to cool off. And with that out of the way, it's time to dance with a crazy bird lady. Winona has more than just bird types this time, with Ultra Beast Celesteela, Shaman Sky, and Mega Altaria forming a potent core. Anxious to bounce back, I'm feeling locked in with my new Mega Beedrill as possibly the strongest bring of this fight. My Lycanroc leads to lock Choice Scarf Staraptor into close combat as I switch into my newest guy, Slowbro. I stay topped off with Slack Off and spring a trap with Future Sight. No, really, I promise, guys. Slowbro is so much more than a Slack Off guy in this game. Meanwhile, Staraptor is accumulating defensive debt from all the close combats. I've set up a clean line to kill Staraptor with Psychic right before Future Sight pops. As Staraptor crashes out, Volcarona is baited into Future Sight, breaking its Focus Sash. See? Could Slowbro break ankles like this in Emerald Geyzo? Thinking ahead, I need to keep Hawlucha in mind. If it ever uses acrobatics, it'll consume its flying gem, activating Unburden and outspeeding my whole team. This is a hard lose condition. I've baked in multiple contingencies to prevent this at all costs. Lycanroc is taking Volcarona, but I need to pivot through Corviknight to bait Fiery Dance. If Lycanroc gets crit, Hawlucha will see rolls of acrobatics, and I'd have to sacrifice my dog into Volcarona for plan B. Despite my efforts, Volcarona rips the Fiery Dance into Lycanroc, but the Rock Doggy holds. Accelerock cleans up and brings in Hawlucha. This is always close combat, so it's an easy switch to Beedrill. The beast hungers for battle, and who am I to deny mealtime? Poison Jab deletes Hawlucha through the defense drop, baiting the Ultra Beast Celesteela. Beedrill U-turns into Gyarados on Heavy Slam, then baits Rock Slide into Rhyperior. I've run the pivot cycle several times to rack up Intimidates for Slowbro. Celesteela can barely touch Slowbro now, and the stage is set. Slowbro rotates between Slack Off and Fire Blasts with a held zoom lens for max accuracy. Slowbro comfortably melts the metallic monstrosity to bait out Shaman Sky. Serene Grace gives Air Slash a 60% flinch chance, and Shaman has the blistering speed to abuse this. You're looking at Winona's most threatening Pokemon on average. This is yet another reason why Mega Beedrill thrives in this fight, and he easily tanks Seed Flare on the switch. Poison Jab annihilates Shaman, and another quick jab packs up Mega Altaria for a clean endgame. After the expert Kevin Disaster, I needed a dominating victory for my mental. My badge case feels slightly heavier as I level up the squad and prepare for the long road to Lily Cove City. Welcome to the longest section of the entire game. The Tate and Liza split is an endurance test of mental fortitude and patience. Some of the toughest battles await me. Steven Stone is posted on the Route 120 bridge wanting to give me the Devon Scope, allowing me to detect invisible objects. I fumble around Forestry, touching every tile until I feel those scales on my hands. Devon Scope activated. Kecleon secured. The Chameleon always comes with its hidden ability, Protean, changing its typing to match any move it uses when it attacks. More importantly, wild Kecleons are guaranteed to hold a Shed Shell. I now have both of the obtainable Shed Shells in the game. These will be extremely important for a later section in the split. I make one last pit stop to the Scorched Slab, picking up a Golisopod. The giant Isopod's emergency exit ability acts as a built-in eject button, switching it out when direct damage knocks it below 50%. Having an on-demand stop button to reset the tempo in the middle of a fight is an absurdly powerful tool. In my opinion, this is the single best Pokemon in Run and Bun due to its ability, typing, and strong stat spread. The stretch from Route 120 through Route 121 to Lily Cove is a long hike. Most of the fights are a bit of a breather before the main set pieces, but there are a few notable trainers that can catch you off guard. On the final stretch of Route 120, I pick up the Altaria Knight, but more importantly, I've got a bone to pick with a trainer by the name of Ninja Boy Kigo. His Glalie has the Moody ability, sharply boosting a random stat by 2 stages while dropping another random stat by 1 stage each turn. Glalie also has Protect to farm these boosts, making this a scary fight that can be hard to keep under control. There's also one other threat lurking in the back. Yeah, we just Heavy Slam. Wait, what? Aura Sphere? Dude, the set in the calc is wrong. Wait, what? Dude, what? No. What? That's wrong, dude. The docs are wrong, the calc is wrong. Oh my god. It's Zoroark. Yeah, this wasn't exactly the showing I had in mind on what would make my debut on a P-Chow thumbnail. There's an old saying in Hoenn, I know it's in Kanto, probably in Hoenn, that says, fool me once, shame on you.
You fool me, we can't get fooled again.
With my old vendetta put to rest, I push onward to Route 121, picking up a Pidgeot as my encounter in the grass. The fights get slightly tougher than Route 120, but one fight in particular really made me look myself in the mirror and reflect on my actions. No, seriously, young couple Brian and Casey is my cameo fight in Run&Bun. My favorite Pokemon Gengar, along with the Moxi ability Heracross in the back, are just one example of Dex's subtle yet flavorful style of environmental storytelling. This is also another prime example of Dex's ability to cook clever teams engineered to be a huge pain in the ass. Beedrill and Electrode U-turn and Volt Switch on Dino to chip it and position into my poison resists. Since Sludge Wave also hits your partner, Gengar finishes the job for me, killing off Audino. The rest of the fight is now just a series of standard pivots and baits as I pick off the remaining threats. Frederick Nietzsche was really onto something when he said, you are your own worst enemy. There's plenty to do after arriving in Lilycove City. The elephant in the room is the big rival fight awaiting me outside the department store. But first, I have a few errands to run. It's common to have both Caracosta and Dreadnought encounters by this point, and those dupes lock in a Wartortle or Blastoise from the Safari Zone. Lacking both of the turtles, I decide to high roll for a fishing encounter in hopes of pulling a Dragonair. The only real whiff here is Electros, and those odds are very low. Oh, let's go, baby. We got the Dragonair. Let's fucking go. Dragonite is often a bit underwhelming in many of these games, getting overshadowed by other pseudo-legendaries. In Run&Bun, however, the gentle giant finally gets its flowers. Dragonite is an incredible pickup and power spike for my box. The Safari Zone is next, and it features 4 sectors, each with different encounters. Since I'm lacking the dupes to guarantee Blastoise, I have my sights on the grass in the Northwest Zone. This is the only spot in the game you can roll for Snivy, Rowlet, Chespin, or Grookey. With the scarcity and importance of grass types in the game, this table is always tempting. That is, if you're willing to end up with low ball encounters like Parasect and Amoonguss. I'm feeling lucky after pulling Dragonair, so I'm riding the lightning and sending it. Oh, holy shit! Dude! Let's go, baby! Ladies and gentlemen, get up for the run. This is the run. I couldn't hide my excitement at the chance to showcase one of the rarest and most unexplored Pokemon in the game. This also makes for a bonus ghost type, since I'll need as many of those as I can get my hands on for the Magma hideout later. The final rival fight awaits me in Lilycove. Looks like I'm not the only one with a recent streak of insane encounter luck in their run. Garchomp is just a measly 5% chance back at the Jagged Pass, or a 1 in 3 chance from the game corner. And I don't even know where she picked up Melmetal and Galarian Zapdos. Are those encounters even legal? Did May pay off Dexa for a black market developer copy of Run&Bun? There's no gimmicks or cute tricks for this final rival showdown. There's no terrain or weather this time. This will be a bare-knuckle brawl against big bruisers. The power spike of May's team often demands tribute. This is a really tough fight to beat Deathless. The first job is to beat Garchomp while keeping Stealth Rocks off the field. I lead with Altaria pre-damage to bait a fast kill from Dual Chop. Hold my beer. Garchomp will always send it over setting rocks as I go Mega and Type Shift from Dragon Flying to Dragon Fairy. Garchomp's ankles, I introduce you to the Shadow Realm. Pre-burn paired with Mega Altaria's Pixelate ability turns Facade into a big red button when I need to delete anything weak to the Fairy type. Next, May's Alakazam Shadow Balls into my Copperajah, holding a Roap Berry to break the Focus Sash. Copperajah easily tanks another Shadow Ball and introduces Alakazam to Garchomp's ankles. Weavile comes in with a Life Orb boosted knockoff that takes a chunk out of Golisopod. Even a crit never drops Golisopod below 50% though, so I'll always have the emergency exit in my pocket. I taught my Golisopod proper manners, and she knows to always make a good first impression. The glass cannon that is Weavile gets shattered, baiting out Galarian Zapdos. This charged up Roadrunner gave me the most trouble in the builder, and I wasn't able to find a safe way to get my answer in without a sacrifice. Rather than get greedy, I make the call to part ways with the big elephant. Talonflame finishes off Zapdos with a flying boosted acrobatics. Melmetal is the next big threat. My pre-damage Blaziken switches into Thunder Punch and always gets hit into low enough HP to activate the Blaze ability while living crits. The pre-poison prevents paralysis while allowing me to hold a Charcoal instead of a Lumberry. With this many buffs online, the Hot Chicken lets loose the spiciest overheat east of Nashville to Oko Melmetal. Finally, Mega Swampert hits the field, seeing multiple kills into Blaziken. Golisopod pivots in to take damage, dropping below 50% and activating the emergency exit I kept in the bank. This free eject button gives Roserade a clean entrance for a Leaf Storm finisher. May's run is over. Like Vegeta and Goku, Naruto and Sasuke, Guts and Griffith, all great rivalries share a mutual respect. You were magnificent, May. I shall never forget you as long as I live. Before I have time to properly celebrate, I catch news of trouble brewing at Mount Pyre. Route 122 and part of Route 123 are now open. My encounter routing will now be centralized around maximizing my chances at pulling Dreepy or Dracloak. I surf Route 122, whiffing into Honchkrow and missing my first Dreepy shot. Route 123 surfing and fishing are available, but the grass isn't accessible until I unlock the ability to use Waterfall after Badge 8. Since the grass is full of Elite Four brings, I'll delay this until much later. Following Team Aqua's failed takeover of the Weather Institute, they storm the summit of Mount Pyre in search of the blue orb to summon their old god. Team Aqua enforcers guard the door to the summit, so I have to climb the tower in search of an alternate path. The tower ascent is filled with thrill seekers and trainers mourning lost ones, but none are too challenging until I reach the top. The suspicious looking holes in the floor will surely get me to the back door safely, so into the void I go. From this point on, I'm trapped in a 4-battle gauntlet. Just like the Meteor Falls gauntlet, my 6 are locked in after this point of no return. Altaria and Slowbro will be my anchors, with the rest of my roster playing support to enable them. Following the first battle with Psychic Kayla, I could heal up, change held items, and swap my lead. After Psychic Xander, I can do the same preparations, but the last 2 fights are a true back-to-back with no healing in between. With nowhere else to go, I drop into the final pit and attempt to sneak out the back door. Yeah, nice try, right? Mega Altaria breaks Crawdon's Focus Sash, forcing Aqua Jet spam. Altaria eats these, so I roost up to stay topped off for the next Grunt's lead. Killing Crawdon baits down the line, and Kingdra also gets the Facade treatment. Gumshoes, while very threatening with Quick Claw and adaptability stab moves, is no match for the Great Wall that is Rhyperior. Grunt 2's Dragonite has the multi-scale ability, cutting incoming damage in half while at full HP. He sees Draco Meteor, so Altaria does the funny Mega thing and easily 2-taps. Slowbro sits on Floatzel, slacking off, then killing to bait Avalugg. Sturdy needs to be broken, and Mirror Coat can make this tricky. I set up Future Sight to play around Mirror Coat since it'll hit at the end of the turn it pops. This sets up Electrode to come in and Volt Switch into Ampharos for the kill. Shockwave always hits through Gyarados' Bright Powder for the Yoko. I'm freed from the gauntlet, and I rush out the back door trailing Archie. The Team Aqua interlopers have stirred Eldritch powers for trespassing on hallowed grounds. The spirits of Mount Pyre have invoked fierce gale winds around the mountain exterior. The next 4 battles feature a permanent Tailwind field effect, doubling the AI's speed with no way to remove it. First, let's talk about the Octillery effect. Octillery is a mostly disappointing encounter for the player, but it's a demon in the hands of the AI. Every single Octillery in the game is set up to demand respect and fear. Octillery's threatening aura transcends Run and Bun to other games, but Grunt 1's Octopus is a prime showcase of the high potential of the Tentacular Terror. Octillery's sniper ability grants critical hits an additional 1.5 times multiplier. Water Gem boosted Water Spout punches holes through any non-water resist, with even quad water resist sometimes taking over 50% damage from sniper crits. Add in the insane type coverage and Tailwind support, and his 8-legged War Machine can be a body bagger. To deal with this particular Octillery, my Drapion lead takes Gengar and baits a Water Spout into Kingdra. Beedrill comes into the follow-up Energy Ball, and going Mega allows it to outspeed through Tailwind. While Octillery does kill with Water Spout, Beedrill's Leech Life strikes first, neutering the Water Spout damage since it scales to the user's current HP. The machine gun now hits like a pea shooter, allowing Beedrill to kill with the U-turn and gain the positional advantage. Without Beedrill, the Octillery situation would have been really messy. Grunt 2 is even tougher to route, with Cloyster and Drapion as the key threats. The skill link ability grants Cloyster's multi-hit moves a guaranteed 5 hits. Tailwind pairs with King's Rock to give Icicle Spear and Rock Blast just over a 40% chance to flinch with each cycle. Oh, and it also has Shell Smash to set up more offense if that isn't enough already. This costs me 2 rare candies and a heart scale to get my Electrode fast enough to outspeed and kill with Volt Switch. Killing with Volt Switch specifically is required for my plan to deal with Drapion in the endgame. Scope Lens, Sniper, and high crit chance moves like Cross Poison and Night Slash narrowed down my options. If Drapion is allowed a single Swords Dance, I lose on the spot. I have exactly one completely safe answer in my box that always lives any sniper crit from full and can Oko in return.
Oh my fucking... Dude, that is just like with all the bad RNG today, this is just the icing on the cake.
Y'all ready for this? Go ahead and crit me, dude. I don't even care. The Beamer. Data. That's my big baby right there. I love my Porygon too. Love to see it. In a game this tough, you really have to dig deep in your pockets down to the lint. Even the worst encounters will have their shining moments in the right situation. The last grunts are a double battle, but they're much easier than the first two, and I blow through them, making a dash for the summit. The Mount Pyre Summit Showdown is the great equalizer. Even the strongest runs can die if you are simply unlucky. This is because we're looking at a tag battle. Our old enemy Shell has turned ally, and she'll be my partner in this double battle. Permanent Tailwind is still up for Archie, and he leads with Urshifu Rapid Strike and Hydreigon. Shell leads with her old fake-out Last Resort Delcatty from last time. She's bringing Rhyperior and Mega Venusaur in the back. With so many possible timelines floating around in my head, think I'm gonna have to call in some experts to help me out with this one. Okay, thanks for picking up my call, boys. I think I might be in too deep.
What do you mean you're in too deep? You just started.
Look, everything is fine. I'm here. Open up the calc, run the lines, find your outs.
Bro, okay, here's the plan. Delcatty's 50-50 to fake out either slot, right? That's cash. Mega Beedrill's faster than all these clowns. Delcatty just goes for Urshifu, then Beedrill smacks Hydreigon with U-turn. You bring out Lycanroc, flinch Rotom and Dragalge with Rock Slide for a couple turns, and Shell's side goes crazy. Then we clean up at the end. Archie's Sharpedo's kind of fast, but Hariyama's got you there. That's Pyre Tag. Easy game for babies.
Rock Slide flinches. Even if that wasn't already a super inconsistent plan, Archie has permanent Tailwind. You know, Wacko, you know you have to outspeed Pokemon to flinch them, right? Okay, Moxi, let's be real here. You have Mega Altaria, Pixelated Hyper Voice kills both leads while accounting for the fake out 50-50. That's a consistent lead for you.
My Altaria is jolly, dude. It's a range to kill, and I don't even have the heart scales for a nature change.
Just hit the range, man. That's so easy.
Wacko, he can't just hit the range. You realize if he doesn't, he just wipes, right? Like, you think he wants to bank on a range? We don't even know that he... Wait, what was that?
Yeah, sorry. You guys were having your moment, so I figured I would just go ahead while you two talked it out.
Okay, down him on, but free, sick. Now we have some seaweed and a fridge to fight. Literally not a big deal.
Okay, Wacko, what would you want
Rock
me to
slide
do?
flinch. Rock slide flinch.
Wacko, I've already explained this to you. He cannot get a Rock Slide flinch because there is Tailwind up.
That doesn't sound like a problem at all. Get your own Tailwind up somehow.
He's been on this run for months, Wacko. You think he's gonna win by just running in and praying that he gets lucky?
Not with that attitude.
Maybe your attitude is why you haven't even been to Mount Pyre. You ever think about that, Wacko?
Well, your attitude is the reason why you lost at Mount Pyre.
Oh, real mature. Yeah, bring up the 3% chance for me to lose and claim it's because I
my God.
misplayed
Do you know
and not
what
because
you
I got
sound like
super
right now?
unlucky.
Blah,
Yeah,
blah,
bring it
blah.
up. Come on.
3%
You realize that was one of the
mathematical
best Pyre
equation.
taglines ever made, right? The
Dude, I'm
fact
actually so
that
hungry
Delcatty
right now,
survived
man.
was the
If you
only
could
thing that
hear
could have
how
gone
you
wrong, and I
sound
still
right
am.
now.
Look, it's all good, boys. I think I got it from here. Archie's last line of defense is Stakataka and Mega Sharpedo. My last remaining Pokemon is Amistar, and Shell still has Mega Venusaur in the back. Sharpedo always goes for the kill on Rhyperior here, as Amistar rips a ground gem boosted Earth Power to Oko Stakataka. As base Venusaur comes in, Sharpedo can close combat into Amistar or Ice Fang into Venusaur. Since Venusaur doesn't see every roll of Giga Drain killing before Shark goes Mega, it does have a chance to use Sleep Powder. This move can miss. I need Shell to do me a solid here. All right, come on, Venusaur. Clutch up, Shell. You got me right. Come on, Shell. Let's see it. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Ooh, missed a sleep powder. Okay. If Sharpedo crits Amistar this turn, I die and the run is over. Rather than go for a second protect, I'm firing in to make sure Venusaur goes for the throat next turn if it sleep powders again here. All right, let's see what the shark does. I'm gonna dodge crit. Come on. Come on. Okay, Venusaur, please Giga Drain. Please. Come on, Shell. I'm begging you. Yes! Dude, we win. Woo! Woo! Dude, I can't believe it actually missed the sleep powder there. Oh my god. New PB, we did it. I saw the run flashing before my eyes when sleep powder missed.
Yo, so, good job out there, man. Expertly played.
Yeah, man, good job. Turns out if we all put our heads together, we can get the job done.
See you tomorrow?
Yeah, see you tomorrow,
see you
man.
guys.
So, want to grab a bite or something?
Nah, actually, I think I'm good. I'm headed into unknown territory. This is the farthest I've ever been, and with the new personal best secured, everything from here is new. Archie still managed to get away with the blue orb, and to make matters worse, I'm getting news that Moxi also stole the red orb and is already at the magma hideout making preparations for his answer to Team Aqua. Before heading into the belly of the beast, it's time to go for one of the most make-or-break encounters in the game. I kept my cast form at level 58 for an RNG manipulation. Using any level 58 Pokemon with Repel turned on wards away most fluff encounters, maximizing odds at Dreepy or Dracloak on the Mount Pyre exterior. Dragapult is without a doubt a top 5 Pokemon in run&bun. Here we go. We got the Pult. With my new weapons-grade lizard juicing up the arsenal, I rush back to the jagged path to chase down Team Magma. Magma Hideout more than lives up to its iconic reputation as a disgustingly difficult section. Every Nuzlocke attempt is subject to paying blood tribute to the Great Filter. At this point, not a single runner in the world has gotten through the hideout deathless. Sure, the entire game of run&bun calls for tight risk management, but this section blows that wide open. This is Dex's twisted experimental playground to push the limits of science and test just how risky a Pokemon battle can get. Bright Powders decrease your accuracy by 10%, Quick Claws grant the AI a 20% chance to move first, and Focus Band gives a 10% chance to survive any killing blow. Focus Band is not consumed on use, so it can activate multiple times. Explosion users run amok, almost every team holds at least one Focus Sash, and hazard threats lurk around every corner. The Bouncer at the door leads with a Quick Claw Torkoal with Explosion and Shell Smash. His Focus Band Hisuian Arcanine has disgusting synergy with Reversal, and the Bright Powder Charizard with Belly Drum is... Wait... Is it just me? Or have I seen this guy somewhere else before? Grunt 2 leads with a Sturdy Aggron holding Focus Band with Stealth Rocks and Counter. Grunt 3's lead is a Focus Band Nidoking, also with Stealth Rocks. And Grunt 6 leads a Quick Claw Colossal with Stealth Rocks and Explosion. Will this ever end? I just want some nice, normal, relaxing calcs, man. My favorite grunt of them all is number 9. When you look at the other fights, it's clear they're seasoned with that spicy, chaotic Magma Hideout flavor. This guy's team sticks out like a sore thumb. I think he's LARPing as an Aqua Grunt. This is the toughest grunt outside of the final chamber, and it's all because of Electrode. Swagger boosts your attack sharply and confuses you. Since Foul Play calculates damage on the opponent's attack, Electrode effectively gets it boost too. Bright Powder makes it hard to hit, and of course it threatens to go boom. As I push deeper through the caverns, the delightfully dark selection of bitter dishes being served gets more experimental. I've fought my way through 12 grunts with no deaths so far. It's time to storm the back kitchen and find out exactly how the sauce is made. I wasn't ready for what I was about to see. A blazing hellstorm rages through the final chamber. The final 5 fights will take place in a permanent Magma Storm field effect. Each turn, my Pokemon takes 1/8 of its health in damage. Even worse, Magma Storm traps my Pokemon, preventing them from switching out. Sure, I can sacrifice a lower value Pokemon each time I need positioning, but that's a bloody death toll I'd like to avoid. There are some alternatives, however, and throughout the game to this point, I've been collecting specific resources in preparation just for this. Ghost types are immune to all trapping moves and abilities, so they can switch freely. The Shed Shell held item also allows the user to switch. Pivoting moves like U-turn, Volt Switch, and Flip Turn also allow an escape. And finally, Golisopod's emergency exit also works here. So as you can see, every decision up until this point has been a slow, calculated cook to maximize my options for dealing with the magma storm. As you can imagine, the 3 grunts in here are all a huge threat. After hours of slow cooking and squeezing every last drop of juice out of my resources, I clear them with no sacrifices. Moxi's most trusted royal guard blocks the final corridor, as Moxi channels the summoning ritual at the foot of the magma pool. This battle is widely considered to be top 5 most difficult in the game. It took almost 2 hours of theory crafting, and I never found a safe, deathless strategy that I was willing to use. Blacephalon sees Shadow Ball kill into Barrascuda, so I flip turn into Kecleon, breaking the Focus Sash. Sucker Punch finishes the Ultra Beast, bringing out Victini. Accounting for Magma Storm Chip, I've pre-damaged Kecleon to specifically always bait V-Create. This next sequence needs to be airtight and precise. Don't blink or you'll miss it. Holding a Shed Shell, Kecleon switches to Golisopod as Victini attacks. First, V-Create drops Victini's stats. Then, Golisopod drops below half and eats her Citrus Berry. Next, the stat drop from Victini's V-Create activates the Eject Pack, switching it out. Golisopod determines the bait here, so Yanmega comes out next. Finally, Golisopod's emergency exit goes off, giving me perfect tempo into Pidgeot. Yeah, this was a lot to take in, but just know that this all went exactly as planned. It's critical that I deny Yanmega from getting a single speed boost. Pidgeot's pre-damage ensures Yanmega sees a kill and will never protect to gain said boost. Base Pidgeot is slower than unboosted Yanmega, but Mega Pidgeot takes the speed advantage. The No Guard ability makes Hurricane 100% accurate and Yanmega gets shredded. Victini shows its face again, but it sees overlapping kills. I can't safely position without risking the run. Routing around Yanmega was my biggest issue, so it is with honor that I relieve Pidgeot from her post. Rest easy, girl. You did great. After getting through all 15 grunts deathless, Tabitha has spilled first blood. Barrascuda picks off the little gremlin with liquidation, then flip turns the incoming Snorlax to bait Body Slam into Dragapult. Since I outspeed in 2 shots, Snorlax can never set up Curse. Dragapult tanks Heat Crash and kills with 2 rounds of Dragon Darts. I'm showing kills on both of Tabitha's remaining members, so Switch in AI now goes by team order. Dragapult is fed a tasty Hitmonlee snack, and the endgame is Mega Absol. Since base form Absol sees a priority kill, the AI wants to Sucker Punch. As Absol goes Mega, the attack fails on the switch into Golisopod. The Magma Storm chips her below half again, but emergency exit is only triggered by direct damage. Big Bug is here for keeps, and she eviscerates Mega Absol with first impression. A piercing roar echoes through the chamber. Tabitha may have lost the battle, but he completed his assignment. I'm too late. I rush to Moxi to confront the unholy abomination he's brought into our world. Okay, look, I didn't literally rush over. This may or may not have been another 2-hour plus cook, okay? Moxi leads with his newly captured Groudon, setting up permanent sunny weather on top of the Magma Storm. I know I've been gassing up this guy for the storyline, but dude, you couldn't even give him Primal Groudon? Come on. Roserade Okos with Leaf Storm, baiting Tangrowth, and using a Shed Shell to switch to Talonflame. It's time to set the stage for Dragapult. Chlorophyll doubles Tangrowth's speed in the sun, and Naganadel holds a Choice Scarf. Dragapult has the firepower, but these two put a full stop on any sweeping potential. I'm hitting Moxi with a Mount Pyre special. Talonflame whips up a Tailwind. I need to take full advantage of all 4 Tailwind turns, so Talonflame is pre-damaged to die immediately after. Dragapult is holding a Life Orb for the 50% damage boost, and he's fully online. Tangrowth gets dropped by Draco Meteor. Garchomp takes 2 Dragon Darts to the dome, and Naganadel falls to the next round of Dragon Darts. Tailwind ends right as Moxi sends out Mew. Dragapult needs the rest after his bombing run. Golisopod pivots into Flare Blitz, emergency exiting into Beedrill. Mega Beedrill Leech Life kills Mew from full. Mega Houndoom is Moxi's last Pokemon. Since Beedrill can't Oko, I U-turn for big damage and sacrifice Cast Full. Mega Beedrill comes back in on the tempo reset and puts the big dog down for good. Groudon has deemed Moxi unworthy of its true power, and the beast has wandered off. Moxi's plot to terraform the land in his old god's image has been stopped, for now at least. With Moxi's plan foiled for now, I'm hot on Archie's trail to stop the Blue Orb ritual. In the average difficulty hack, Aqua Hideout is typically your moment to catch a breath after escaping hell. By this point, I'm sure you know this game is built a little different. Aside from the Magma Storm room, I personally rate the Aqua Hideout fights to be harder on average. Team Aqua also plays dirty, so the hack's RNG items are still prominent. After getting my skin melted off in Magma Hideout, I thought I'd enjoy a nice dip to cool off. But nope, everyone in here is just trying to drown me. The front doorman is a ridiculously sweaty fight with Quick Claw Pangoro's heavy hits and an unorthodox Water Gem Surf Bouffalant set to throw you off. Grunt 7 features sturdy Quick Claw Caracosta with Stealth Rocks, and the Octillery effect makes another appearance. Starmie makes routing tricky due to a strange quirk with its ability. Analytic boosts a Pokemon's damage by 30% when they move last. When the AI is deciding who to switch in, Analytic has a bug that causes them to see the Analytic boost if you moved first the prior turn. The AI normally shouldn't see the boost until it enters the field. You're probably starting to see why planning a consistent path gets awkward with the multiple Quick Claws in this fight. Unsurprisingly, this one is another several-hour cook. Hardened from my time in the gaping maw of Magma Hideout, I clean sweep Team Aqua's headquarters, arriving at the docking bay with no deaths. Archie's right-hand goon, Aqua Admin Matt, blocks the escape submarine. He doesn't even care about buying time. The guy just genuinely wants to fight. My man is operating purely on vibes, a threatening aura indeed. The big issue I want to highlight is the goofy looking guy. Matt Dracovish knows just one attack. If you're a fan of Pokemon VGC, you'll know what's coming. Vicious Rend doubles in base power when the user moves first. Choice Scarf makes Dracovish go very fast. Oh yeah, the Strong Jaw ability also boosts Vicious Rend by another 50%. You better have a quad water resist for this one. First, I need to prevent Mammoth's from setting up hazards. Infernape's Fake Out breaks Focus Sash for close combat to clean up. Dracovish comes in and I go into Kingdra. Notice how much damage I'm taking through quad water resistance. If Kingdra loses the 1v1 to crits, I'll have to go into plan B, but he clutches up and baits Dragapult. Golisopod takes a round of Dragon Darts, emergency exiting into Altaria. Dragapult wants to fire more darts, and Mega Altaria Euro steps into the paint, breaking yet another pair of ankles. Ultra Beast Kartana with Life Orb is the ultimate glass cannon with blistering base speed. This matchup can feel like a box check, but a fast Infernape like mine switches in and scoops an easy kill. Decidueye has the perfect typing to deal with Raikou's set, and Altaria can play backup if it gets messy. A timely Leaf Blade crit locks in the 1v1, and Matt's Mega Gyarados hits the field. Since Decidueye is outsped, the Sea Serpent is Roserade's job. Since Roserade dies to crit, my safest play is to sacrifice Kingdra for tempo, but I have a trick up my sleeve to save my Seahorse. Altaria pivots through Crunch, baiting Earthquake into Golisopod. I had a second emergency exit banked this whole time. Whether this is a bug or intended feature remains unconfirmed by the developer, so we take those all day. Roserade enters through the exit unscathed, and Leaf storms Gyarados for a clean finisher. Once again, I'm too late. Matt kept me busy just long enough for Archie to make his escape. I can't chase him just yet, so I'm taking an actual breather from the hideouts for a little side quest. I never picked up an encounter from Magma Hideout, and this is by design. The best encounters to be had there mostly reside in the Magma Storm room. I'm talking pseudo-legendaries like Hydreigon, Garchomp, Tyranitar, Salamence, and generally strong pickups like Ursaluna and Volcarona. I wanted to wait for one or two more level caps to ease the load of capturing low catch rate encounters in the Magma Storm. I pulled Tyranitar and managed to catch it without any issues. This means I can take the Heat Badge reward from the Game Corner for a guaranteed Metagross. As with all resources, I'll be patient and wait until I feel that I absolutely need it. It's time to set off to Moss Deep. There isn't too much to do in Moss Deep besides a quick encounter, so I fish up an Avalugg on Route 125 and head straight to the gym. This is the undisputed hardest gym I've experienced across any Pokemon game I've ever played. All 6 double battles leading up to Tate and Liza are complex mind benders. Each fight features unique mechanics, interesting themes, and niche AI patterns that will test your knowledge and punish you accordingly if you don't study up. It's not unusual for every fight to take multiple hours to prepare for. My personal favorite is Gentleman Clifford and Psychic Macy. Clifford's Passimian has the Receiver ability, granting Passimian its partner's ability when they die. Macy's level 1 Meryl with Quick Claw Misty Explosion seems a bit silly, but it's built specifically to die quickly and pass on huge power. Macy's Tauros and Golduck both have roleplay, allowing them to copy their partner's ability. This could be Passimian's huge power, Greninja's Protean, or Lycanroc's tough claws. You can plan to bait them into burning turns using roleplay, or you can craft lines to deny this option completely. Each battle in here is equally creative and clever. I had an incredible time cracking these puzzles and wrinkling my brain. I'm not just here for fun and games though. I've got my sights set on something bigger than a gym badge. In the late game, the player gains access to the Scanner, which can be traded to Captain Stern in Slateport City for extremely powerful held items. This includes the Choice Band, Choice Specs, Choice Scarf, Assault Vest, and Leftovers. You can only hold one at a time, but you can swap them freely. What if there was a way to get a second scanner item? My network of espionage experts have fresh intel on an exotic treasure tucked away in Moss Deep Gym's state-of-the-art security vault. I think I know just the guys for the job. Kate is on night shift duty and his staff are on high alert. The Azelf security guard uses Future Sight to scan the area for intruders as Mega Beedrill pops the focus sash. Perfect. Shutting off the stealth rock tripwires lets my agents slip through the perimeter undetected. Mega Beedrill neutralizes Azelf with a leech life tranquilizer, but the nearby Latios patrol already heard the commotion. Latios goes Mega and rushes over to deal with the interlopers. Mega Beedrill U-turns out, dispatching Mega Latios and snatching the master lockbox code. The Hoopa lockbox is in my sights, and my team is in position to retrieve the goods. Hold on, wait a minute, something feels off. Tyranitar comes in to scout, pivoting back in the Mega Beedrill after surveying the scene. This isn't the real lockbox. I knew it. It's a decoy. Mega Beedrill cuts the red and blue wires, diffusing the Zoroark trap. Now, the real Hoopa lockbox is cornered, but the force field needs to be deactivated before I can enter the code. Tyranitar is immune to Hyperspace Hole, Porygon 2 is immune to Shadow Ball, and Dragapult is immune to Aura Sphere. They run the triple pivot cycle, weaving through the lasers until Hoopa is depleted. The force field is down, and my extraction specialist is in position. Claydol skill swaps Hoopa, gaining the Magician ability. This makes the user's next attack steal the opponent's held item. I finally punch the lockbox code and steal Hoopa's leftovers. This means I'm unlocking the scanner items early, and I'll be able to run 2 of them at any given time. The heist is a success, but Liza isn't gonna just let me walk out. Tapu Lele sets permanent psychic terrain, calling in the head of security as Mega Beedrill takes her out. Mega Metagross is the fearsome enforcer of Moss Deep Gym security, taking all thieves dead or alive. Berserker's life is on the line, and a single crit means this will be his last job. Big Cat pivots through Zen Headbutt, holding just enough to bait Earthquake and create a diversion for Dragapult to take out Metagross. The Hoopa lockbox failsafe has triggered, activating the emergency Hoopa Unbound protocol. But the heist crew is synced up, as Tyranitar and Mega Beedrill juke around Hoopa Unbound's focus sash, leaving the lockbox empty for good. In a desperate, last-ditch effort, Liza sends her Mega Latios sentry to block the exit. Mega Beedrill uses the final Leech Life Tranquilizer as the heist crew blows through the door. Badge 7 and my shiny new leftovers are secured. Next, I make a quick stop to Shoal Cave, clearing the double battle guarding the entrance and catching a Hisuian Sliggoo. This is another huge pickup. Trouble is brewing back on the island, and I hightail it back to Moss Deep to investigate. Team Magma is back, with one final desperate stand to execute their backup plan. Since Groudon wasn't feeling Maxi's aura, his plan to use the old god's earthbending powers is a bust. He's taken over the Moss Deep Space Center to steal Hoenn's rocket fuel supply and blow up Mount Chimney to terraform the land. The grunt fights are standard Team Magma cuisine, with a mini boss fight versus Courtney and a triple back-to-back gauntlet. The main event, though, is the final tag battle of the game. This time, I have a much more competent AI partner in Steven Stone. He's leading Dialga with Metagross and Mega Steelix on the back line. Without Shell's Delcatty's silly fake-out 50-50 situation, I can actually plan a consistent strategy here. With the early scanner item unlocked from the heist, I'm bringing Choice Specs Jellicent to wreak havoc with big boosted water spouts. Several pieces do need to be in place to enable Jellicent though. But first, since this is a tag battle, let me make a quick call. Nobody? I guess I'm on my own then. Here's what I'm thinking. I need to keep Dialga safe to force Trick Room on turn 1 and give Jellicent speed control. Maxi's Ferrothorn absolutely cannot hit the field until the endgame, and Dialga ideally keeps its Dragon Gem to lock in the Oko on Mega Garchomp. Finally, Infernape is on cleanup duty after Jellicent storms the beach. We gotta pay our respects to Hari. That's another death. Wait. Rip Hari Yama.
Hello?
Wait, what? Ferrothorn? Wait, this wasn't supposed to be out yet. The panic sets in as I realize I've made a grave mistake. The exact lose condition I meant to avoid is now staring me in the face. Ferrothorn was not supposed to come out yet. This is a very real wipe angle. Attempt 76 is flashing before my eyes. So basically, for anyone who's wondering what went wrong, so what I was trying to do, I wanted Dialga to have the Dragon Gem for the Garchomp. What I failed to realize is keeping the Dragon Gem actually screwed up my baiting. So what I did was I actually burnt Hari. I wanted to do as little as possible damage to the Landorus to give as little or as few killing rolls as possible to the Dialga with Dragon Pulse, because I was trying to keep the gem. So that I accomplished, but unfortunately that's not what we wanted in hindsight. We wanted the Dragon Gem gone so that I could get the proper order here and get Moltres out, because we were basically sweeping in Trick Room, and now the Ferrothorn is out early. With Trick Room still up, Ferrothorn now outspeeds and kills Jellicent. I have no choice but to risk my oldest friend, and I need for Steven's side to go crazy. Infernape gets nailed by the Power Whip as Dialga whiffs Dragon Pulse into Mega Garchomp's Protect. 2 turns of Trick Room remain. Dialga tanks a Body Press as it fires off Dragon Pulse into Mega Garchomp for the kill. Infernape takes out Ferrothorn, suffering heavy recoil from Flare Blitz and Iron Barbs. Just 1 turn of Trick Room left. This means Infernape is outsped by Moltres and Heatran. Sorry, Vix. I'm so sorry. Okay. That's good. That's good. It targeted Moltres. Okay, that's good at least. We have the fraud. No! You're not gonna kill it. Infernape dies as Trick Room ends. I also wanted Dialga dead to get Steven's Metagross on the field. This would bait kills with 2 fire moves, meaning Jellicent would take minimal damage from Heatran as Moltres nukes Metagross. Since Jellicent's current set only has Water Spout as a real offensive presence, I need its HP high as possible. Earth Power from Heatran is game over. We're spouting. Could also be Magma Storm miss. Alright folks, let's see if this run continues. It's gonna stay fire type because it's gonna kill. Since Heatran is targeting Dialga, it's going into Jelly. Oh! Oh my god! Magma Storm miss! Holy shit! No shot! Dude! This is the run! There's no way we lose this. Dude! Attempt 76, baby. Let's go, baby! Dude, that's crazy. Oh my god, let's fucking go, Steven. I'm gonna kiss you, Steven. This is the run. Space tag is done. I walked in the space tag planning to only sacrifice Hariyama. At no point did I see the timeline where I'd be losing my first partner. Still, I'm just relieved that I'm alive. I can't fumble the bag like that again after fate handed me this gift. With a heavy heart, I say my goodbyes and keep pushing onwards. The ability to dive has been unlocked, and I set sail on the long ocean corridor to Satopolis City. Nuzlocking is all about solving puzzles in the builder. Sometimes map movement matters too. Optional battles lurk around every corner, threatening to get the jump on unprepared trainers. Okay, I guess yeah. Because 127 grass is kind of insane. Oh! Who's this? I don't exactly remember where the hole was. I don't think it was down here. I think it was this way. Is it here? No. Yeah, I'm trying to find the right hole, you know? Don't want to go in the wrong hole. That wouldn't be good. Oh! Come on, man. Tired of these optionals, dude. All right, who is this? Yeah, I totally could have dodged all of them if I really wanted. I'm just throwing for content, right? Right? With the underwater areas now available, there are tons of hidden items to hunt for. This section serves as a nice heart scale refill, and I fill my bag until the seams are bursting. After clearing the fights along the way, I surface on the shores of Satopolis City. From this point, I'll be delaying most of my newly available encounter locations. Powerful roaming Pokemon will start appearing soon, and I want to maximize my chances to get the ones that I want. Nonetheless, I can still pick up a handful of new Pokemon right now. Satopolis nets me a Petalil, and Route 127 gets me a Sharpedo. Note that the encounters from the underwater sections have separate met locations. So I dive Route 126 for a Delmise, and I surf the same route above water to pick up an incredible Aerodactyl. I had also previously delayed Route 124 for later, but I break the delay to pick up a Bruxish to improve my encounter routing. Before I can challenge the final gym in Satopolis, I have to go be a hero one last time. I have fresh intel on Archie's whereabouts after I ran him out of the Aqua hideout. Team Aqua has taken to the sunken palace of their old god, and they're making a last stand hundreds of fathoms beneath the sea. Seafloor Cavern is the final villain stronghold in run&bun, and I dare say it's the toughest. Rather than Kaizo puzzles and permanent weather, there's something even more sinister waiting for me. A chilling mist chokes the warmth out of my body as I enter the caverns. Each fight has a permanent Aurora Veil effect. This protective barrier acts as a 2-in-1 light screen and reflect for the AI, reducing all incoming damage by half. Defog and Brick Break users can shatter the veil, but finding the opening to do so is a puzzle in itself. Team Aqua's rosters here are built specifically to hard punish the player for taking a turn to deal with Aurora Veil. Across every Pokemon hack I've played, this is the first time I'll say this. Seafloor Cavern is even harder than Magma Hideout. It's also my personal favorite section of run&bun. A strong fairy type is also important throughout the game, but even more so for the Elite Four. After missing the Poplio back in Petalburg, I've been carefully routing to optimize odds at Primarina at some point before the endgame. I'm still missing a couple dupes, but I decide to take my chances here. Let's fucking go, baby. Primarina is finally with me. And Modest Nature with 28 special attack IVs is the icing on the cake. I need to keep this alive at all costs. My celebration is short-lived, and I start the section on the wrong foot. After a dire planning error on Grunt 1, I've lost Roserade and Amistar in the fallout. It doesn't get much better from here. I would go on to spend the next 5 hours in the lab across 2 entire live streams, desperately trying to find a safe approach to Grunt 2. It's not uncommon for this fight to stop risk-averse runners dead in their tracks. This would go on to be my longest cook across the entire attempt. Okay, we want to see Stealth Rocks here. If we don't, it's so likely, dude. It's so likely. Okay, first, we're breaking the veil. This will do full damage. And CC will always kill after. Nice, okay. We're cooking. Every plan to remove hazards had too much variance for my liking, so I built a line that could play with rocks up. I'm in a position to 1v1 Haxorus with Primarina, baiting a Alolan Muck. This is holding Bright Powder with a nasty set packing Focus Punch and Explosion. Focus Punch charges at the start of the turn, firing off at the end. If Muck gets hit first, it'll just flinch. To abuse this, I've given Berserker Smart Strike, which can never miss. With just a hair of free damage, Big Cat will bait clean Focus Punch kills for a safe angle to chain flinch after flinch. Bonus points for being able to tank Explosion in the very off chance Muck goes for it. So I'm at 224. Oh, you know what? I actually messed up my pre-damage, dude, because I was still calcing off level 85 Berserker. So Roserade doesn't always see HP Fire kill. It can Sleep Powder. Shit, okay. Is there a way I can get some more chip? Oof, I botched my pre-damage, but Muck was never the real issue. There's a Bright Powder Roserade in the back with Sleep Powder, and Berserker needs to always bait a kill to deny Sleep Powder. One more round of Stealth Rock's chip gets me there, so let's do this pre-damage live. Primarina pivots through Focus Punch, baiting Poison Jab back into Berserker. Crisis averted, we're back on track. Aerodactyl swaps into Roserade's attack easily, one-tapping through Bright Powder with Choice Band Aerial Ace and baiting Bruxish. Since Greninja outspeeds and kills, Bruxish spams Aqua Jets. The pre-damage ensures the Gyarados in the back will see kills and never set up with Dragon Dance into my Avalugg switch. Avalug's colossal physical bulk can sit here for days, but it's still possible to lose the matchup if Waterfall scores too many flinches. Urshifu can always revenge kill with Sucker Punch if needed. Avalugg nails a crit, locking in the 1v1. Only run&bun could have me popping off over non-boss battles like this. This is immediately followed by a 2-fight gauntlet for Grunts 3 and 4, while Grunt 5 leads with another scary hazard setter not unlike Grunt 2's Swampert. I ran a really cool lead I was super proud of. Delmise denies Explosion on principle of being a ghost. It can rapid spin away the hazards and even gets Brick Break to remove Aurora Veil. The Protective Pad's held item also ignores contact damage from Ferrothorn's Iron Barb's ability. I've accounted for almost every risk here, but what about the Quick Claw? On Route 111, there's an unsuspecting move tutor that I've never actually seen anyone use. Embargo disables the opponent's held item for 5 turns. This move has limited distribution, but Delmise happens to be on that list. All right, Delmise, let's see what we got, homie. Crit this. Let's go, baby. The anchor clutches up once again. That's why this mod is the GOAT, baby. The spooky anchor has never let me down, and that's a clean setup for the rest of the fight to go very smoothly. That's the last villain team grunt of the entire game. It's just the bosses now. Archie's most trusted lieutenant guards the inner sanctum of Kyogre's sunken palace. The ripples of energy radiate from the next room as he channels the blue orb. I'm quickly seeing why he's put all his trust into Shelly to stop me. Not only am I still dealing with the Aurora Veil, but Tapu Fini also sets Misty Terrain off the jump. This fight finally forced me to spend 3 heart scales to change Urshifu's nature from relaxed to jolly. Tapu Fini's Nature's Madness attack functions like Super Fang, dealing exactly 50% damage to my Cradily. Mirror Coat hits the Uno reverse card, killing Tapu Fini immediately. As Shelly's Hawlucha enters, its Psychic Seed pops, boosting special defense, activating Unburden, and powering up acrobatics. Yeah, it's another one of those. Golisopod pivots through close combat, passing the Sticky Barb to Hawlucha as emergency exit triggers into Basculegion. Their acrobatics damage boost from being itemless is now gone thanks to the Sticky Barb. I'm gonna want that back later though. So note that I went itemless on Basculegion. Hawlucha misses the Stone Edge, and I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Psychic Fangs acts like Brick Break, shattering Aurora Veil and taking back my Sticky Barb due to being a contact move. Next, Shelly's Gengar is a real trickster, with tech moves like Mean Look and Destiny Bond. Urshifu pivots through Shadow Ball, baiting Mean Look into Dragapult. I still need to deal with a Focus Sash, but 1 round of multi-hit Dragon Darts just does the trick. Since Dragapult can't Oko Cure him, Cradily takes the fall to refresh the tempo. This matchup was the first reason I needed Jolly Nature on Urshifu. A clean, quick close combat kill justifies that decision for me, baiting Mega Slowbro. Greninja's typing and damage output allow a comfy 1v1, and it's just me and Funny Monkey for the endgame. Darmanitan is holding Choice Band for an attack boost, double dipping into that with the Guerrilla Tactics ability. With just Icicle Crash and U-Turn on the set, I specifically routed this guy last to avoid awkward U-Turn moments. Sadly, Darmanitan's absurd damage output risks crit on my answer, so I've planned to sacrifice Basculegion. This is my second reason for Urshifu needing speed. Game over, Darmanitan. It's been real, Shelly. I'm gonna go stop your boss from drowning the world now. The Aurora Veil is lifted for the final villain boss fight of the game. I'll take a shot in the dark and say that's probably for balancing reasons, because this fight would be super overtuned otherwise. And that's because Archie's Kyogre immediately sets permanent rain with Drizzle. The gargantuan old god has immense bulk, and its staying power pairs dangerously with its Custat Berry. My Decidueye is holding a Choice Scarf and is pre-damaged into Overgrow range. Leaf Blade slices and dices up Kyogre in 1 stroke. Maxie and Archie's leads both clearly have a Grass-type problem. Come on, dude, get these guys some Rindo Berries. Kyogre's Royal Guard surrounds me, desperately rushing to avenge their fallen lord. The real fight starts now. Every Overquill in this entire game is a huge threat, but this is the final boss of all pufferfish. Archie's Overquill outdamages you with Life Orb. It outspeeds you with Swift Swim. It flinches you with rain-boosted waterfalls. It sets up Swords Dances and sweeps your lineup. I think I have the juice to take out Kyogre's Court Jester, but I'm gonna need an assist. So we're going to go into what has been my favorite mon of the run. If you've been watching this run since the beginning, you know how much I love Berserker. Berserker never dies on the switch-in. I could even get a free switch-in. It never dies. So what we need to do now is get some chippage on Overquill so that Barraskewda can finish it off. Fake out. And then we've got Metal Coat Bullet Punch. And this is the part that's going to absolutely break my heart. Buddy, we literally would not have been here if you didn't dodge the flinches on Norman. Like, actually. Throughout the whole game since I got you, you've been coming to, like, so many fights. I think you might have the highest fight count in the box, outside of maybe my starter. Berserker, you've been incredible. See you, my man. Bullet Punch. It's been real, buddy. See you on the other side, old friend. Swift Swim Barraskewda has the kill now, and Overquill gets a taste of its own medicine. This sets up Mega Beedrill to come in on Serperior's Leaf Storm, and U-turn Oko right back into Barraskewda. Kyogre's medic is dead. Mega Swampert rushes in, and Kyogre's personal bodyguard sees multiple killing moves. We're both Swift Swim, but I'm faster. Barraskewda tears off a piece of Swampert's armored carapace as he flip turns into Golisopod. Regardless of Swampert's move selection, Golisopod always gets a safe emergency exit back into my fish to pierce the weak point of Swampert's armor. Meanwhile, as this is all going on, I've been preparing a trap. So what this pre-poison and pre-damage is for, it should be able to get me Swampert out when I need it out, feeding Swampert a kill. I should be at the right health to feed it a kill. And then later, after I kill Pert, I should be baiting a kill out of Aegislash. Okay, this should be Aegislash. I'm always dead to it. I have fast kill on Zapdos. Okay, dude, the pre-poison thing went exactly as I needed it. With step 1 executed, I now need to prevent Aegislash from ever using King's Shield. If Barraskewda is only dead to some rolls of Shadow Ball, Aegislash can use King's Shield. I carefully calculated the precise amount of turns Barraskewda would be on the field, accounting for the poison damage each turn. If I'm off by even 1 turn, this all falls apart. Shadow Ball. Okay, he's attacking. Good. Operation Aegislash is a go. Locking in the Shadow Ball ensures Honchkrow always takes enough damage as Aegislash shifts to attack stance. It always goes for Flash Cannon now. I take the opening to Sucker Punch, destroying Kyogre's battle-hardened set of enchanted armaments. With the Royal Guard dispatch, the air crackles in a shower of sparks as the endgame manifests. Honchkrow rips one final Sucker Punch as Zapdos eviscerates it with Hurricane. Zapdos is mortally wounded though, and Barraskewda goes for the heart. Even gods can bleed. It's over. Archie admits defeat and realizes he's made a mistake. Kyogre musters its remaining power to launch out of the seafloor cavern. I make a run for the exit as the throne beneath the tides crumbles around me. Moxi and Archie were fools to think they could dine at the table in the realm of gods. After thousands of years in a deep slumber, Groudon and Kyogre are locked in a power struggle as old as time. The winner doesn't matter, and there is no happy ending if they aren't stopped. The Hoenn region is on the brink of an extinction level event. The only way to stop them is awakening a legendary hero hibernating in the Sky Pillar, but getting there won't be easy. The Cave of Origin is now open, and I scoop up a Mawile before setting sail for the Sky Pillar. The erratic weather split spans the long stretch of ocean from Route 129 through Route 131 on the way to Pacific Log Town. Kyogre and Groudon's battle is twisting the atmosphere, stirring up volatile weather patterns. This section features 10 fights taking place in permanent rain, sun, or thunderstorms. They're all above average in difficulty, claiming both my Greninja and Blaziken along the way. These deaths are mostly fine at this point. At the end of the split lies a top threat in the entire game: Sis and Bro, Relly, and Ian. This fight takes place in permanent sun, with Cinderace being the root of all evil. The bunny's Libero ability works just like Protean, changing Cinderace's typing to match the move it uses. Due to a bug in the Emerald expansion engine, while Cinderace is still a fire type, it sees all of its moves getting the damage boost from the sun. This is extremely awkward to account for. There's just so much that can go wrong if you aren't careful. Victory Bell needs to see kills or it can sleep powder. Mimikyu can't be OHKO'd through disguise. Ursaluna disables berries with Unnerve while being hard to kill, and the list goes on and on and on. My Mega Aerodactyl is a hard carry here, and I managed to build a clean strategy built around enabling the beast. Getting past these gatekeepers marks the end of erratic weather, and more importantly, cracking open all those routes I have delayed. Before the long roamer hunt begins, I pick up a handful of new encounters. Ghastly comes out to play in Pacific Log Town, and Arkin joins the party in the Sky Pillar. With the old gods at rest once more, balance is restored in Hoenn. The deities and spirits that rule over nature are running free again. Remember all those encounter locations I've been saving for later that I keep talking about? It's time to go hunting for some powerful roaming Pokemon. For most boxes, the top 3 roamers are Latios, Thundurus, and Enamorus. It's pretty widely agreed that Cresselia is the worst, with Tornadus and Landorus also scraping the bottom of the barrel. Spawning roamers involves phasing back and forth between routes until the Devon radar alerts me. The catch rate odds are fiction, so they run away immediately if you fail. There are just 2 Master Balls in this game, so only the luckiest of runners will ever catch more than 2 roamers.
Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it!
I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. Word on the street is that Cresselia is by far the worst of the roamers. Bottom of the barrel, gum on the bottom of my shoe, dog water, hot garbage, some ass. I'm crushed and feeling defeated. All I can do is lick my wounds and keep it moving. It's time to lock in for Satopolis Gym. This final gym is the perfect love letter to the run and bun experience. We get a little bit of everything here. The first 2 fights are packaged together as a gauntlet, featuring a double battle into a permanent hail fight in the basement. placement. As with all gauntlets, there's no team swapping in between. Pokefan Bethany brings the Rain and Pain with a Drizzle Politoed lead. Most notably, this may be the only time in history that Feraligatr gets to be the headliner. Liquidation damage is boosted sky high with a triple threat of Life Orb, Sheer Force, and a boost from the Rain. The entire set hits like Mike Tyson, and a single Dragon Dance is wipe territory. Oh yeah, and I can't forget Bethany's Swift Swim Destiny Bond Overquill in the back. Last Chrissy brings the permanent terrain fight to the potluck, while Lady Brianna and Last Pearl hold it down for the hardest type of gauntlet with the final no healing back-to-back with permanent hail on the tail end. Hisuian Gudra and Urshifu are the dynamic duo here. Gudra's gooey ability paired with synergistic pivots drop Pearl's Slush Rush Beartic speed just enough for Urshifu to sweep the entire back line. I carefully clear the way to the gym leader with no deaths in the gym. Juan is a relatively gimmick-free fight compared to many of the recent late-game battles. While Mega Glalie isn't a huge issue, Basculegion and Glastrier were beating me up in the builder during the planning phase. Glastrier pounds the field with spread glacial lances, and its bulky stats make it really hard to kill. Keldeo can make the path to the endgame awkward as well, with muddy water accuracy drops and coaching stat boosts onto its partner. You might have noticed this really underleveled Crawdaunt that's been warming my box, and it's going to come in clutch for this fight. Barraskewda and Crawdaunt face off against Sneasler and Mega Glalie. Since Crawdaunt is 10 levels below the cap, it baits kills from both slots. Mega Glalie gets pulverized by close combat before making a single move, while Sneasler whiffs an attack into Protect. Keldeo enters the arena. Since Barraskewda is the fastest Pokemon on the field, both Keldeo and Sneasler will only see kill confirms into Crawdaunt. It's time to throw them into the spin cycle. Crawdaunt goes hard Jellicent into both fighting moves as Barraskewda flip turns Sneasler, breaking the Focus Sash. Since Crawdaunt already switched out, the flip turn brings her right back in to keep baiting kills. Crawdaunt protects, buying yet another free turn for Jellicent to Icy Wind, dropping Keldeo and Weavile's speed. This is required to enable Dragapult, since mine does have a minus speed nature. Once again, Juan's side whiffs their fighting attacks into Crawdaunt's slot, giving free swaps into Miracle Seed Decidueye and Dragon Fang Dragapult. Dragon Dart number 1 kills Sneasler as number 2 fires into Keldeo. I've maxed out the odds for Keldeo to use its support move. Since Sneasler is already gone, coaching just fails, as Decidueye takes My Little Pony out back to be put down. Juan sends in Salamence and Basculegion. Basculegion essentially has a double stab boost to water attacks because of its adaptability, and Water Gem triples down on that. Despite resisting water, Dragapult does get pounded by Aqua Jets, so I need to maneuver a position that keeps Basculegion busy. Sorry, Jelly. I could go Daunt here. I could go Daunt and get the baits I need, but the issue is that if I get crit, because I'm not Shell Armor, then it's probably Truck. So we are going to go with our guaranteed sack to prevent that situation. Jelly on Shackle and a Draco. 07's in the chat for Big Jelly. It's been real, buddy. Draco's going to be first, right? Jelly, you got me out of space tag. You walked so I could run. You've been a real well, buddy. You've been a real one. All right, here it comes. GG's Jelly, my goat. Hate to see it, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I bring out Urshifu, and on Juan's side, it's horse time. See how long this horse's hooves have gotten. Someone take Glastrier to the DRXX ranch for a hoof trimming.
See how long these horse hooves have become? This horse has had a tough time walking and staying steady.
With the two biggest threats for last, this looks like a straightforward sequence. Basculegion's next action does have several possible outcomes. If Basculegion attacks Urshifu, it'll be Aqua Jet, and if he goes for Dragapult, it can choose Spirit Shackle or Aqua Jet. Dragapult's side is a safe switch into Crawdaunt, while Urshifu breaks through Glastier's huge defense with a Choice Band close combat. Finally, Urshifu baits either water attack on the switch back to Dragapult, while Crawdaunt deals a bit of damage. Drop a Draco. And then I guess we just Aqua Jet. Like, why not? Yep. Jet in the Pult, because I have fast skill. That's GG's. That is 8 badges, dude. All 8 badges, and we're getting the game corner. Like I said, this is the run. Signed, sealed, and delivered. Straight to your doorstep. With 8 badges locked in, we're going to Victory Road. Before I set off for Evergrande City though, let's make a pit stop to Mauville Game Corner for some unfinished business. Each gym unlocks a new tier of Pokemon rewards at the game corner, with Flannery's gym badge being the most common to take for the 50-50 Metagross or Tyranitar chance. Delaying until the Rain badge tier is incredibly rare and virtually unheard of. I was so stubborn about this delay that it became a joke with my community to just pull the damn Metagross. But here we are, with 8 badges. Let's roll the dice and see what fate has in store for me. 9,000 coins gets me Rain badge. Let's do it. Feeling lucky. Mew, Celebi, Jirachi, Victini. Most people seem to think I'm getting Jirachi in the Gamba. One of these chosen at random could be yours. What do you say? What do we say, chat? I say yes. Jirachi. Okay, interesting. So it's not the Mew. I didn't get the Mew. We got the Jirachi. So I did get Metagross Plus. A legend states that Jirachi will make true any wish that is written on the notes attached to its head. I do just that, making a wish on my newest partner as I march into Victory Road to finish what I started. The final stretch of the game also marks my final 4 encounters of the run. On Route 133, my last roaming Pokemon is one of the big 3. Enamorous. Evergrande City gives me a Florges, and a quick detour into the post-waterfall section of Route 123 nets me a Hisuian Samurott. The path unfurls before me, and I must fight on to earn my final encounter. Victory Road has 15 mandatory fights, each featuring a Mega Evolution and clocking in at boss level difficulty. Standouts that give me a run for my money include Cool Trainer Samuel's Mega Blaziken, Cool Trainer Shannon's Mega Swampert, and the Hisuian Lilligant on Cool Trainer Edgar's Permanent Sun Team. Every fight in here is really tough, but there isn't anything I can't handle having made it this far. Deeper into the caverns, I decide to pull the Ice Room for my final encounter, and a Weavile joins as the final member. One thing I also have to highlight, so you remember that Cresselia I was so distraught over, right? Well, it came to just about every fight in Victory Road and almost made it onto my planned Elite Four squad. Psycho Shift passes on status to an enemy, so pre-burn becomes an instant, fully accurate tool to debuff any attack stat by half. Paired with Moonlight Recovery, this effectively makes Cresselia a magic wand that can morph any physical attacker into a little mosquito. This incredible duck has become one of my new favorites. Throughout my whole push through Victory Road, I could sense someone observing me. As I beat Cool Trainer Hallie into the dirt and get ready to exit Victory Road, the assassin from Fall Arbor blocks my way. Vito Winstraight is the final gatekeeper blocking the exit out of Victory Road, and he's back for one last crack at me. Indeedee sets that lovely Psychic Terrain and Electrode Volt switches into Urshifu, breaking the Focus Sash and positioning Urshifu for the kill. The Cockroach scuttles in, missing a close combat into my Choice Scarf Dragapult. One cycle of Dragon Darts exterminates Pheromosa, baiting Aggron. Sturdy ensures Aggron can almost always get Stealth Rocks up. If my Gliscor does too much damage, it'll get vaporized by Metal Burst or trigger the Custat Berry. Rock Tomb chips just enough as Aggron does indeed lay hazards. Gliscor tanks the follow-up while clearing the hazards, and Aggron is safely eliminated. Focus Sash Cloyster threatens full sweeps into poor positioning. Gliscor was one of my best supports of the run, and with a heavy heart, I sacrifice her for tempo. Electrode Volt switches into Cresselia, breaking the Sash and dropping Cloyster to 1 HP. Cloyster is certain to blow up now. Dragapult seizes the moment, phasing through the fireworks as Hawlucha dives in. The Psychic Seed procs, boosting Hawlucha's special defense, triggering Unburden, and unlocking fully juiced acrobatics. This is Cresselia's magnum opus. Psycho Shift transfers her pre-burn status to Hawlucha, crippling its attack stat. Even after multiple Swords Dances, Hawlucha can't break through Cresselia's impenetrable defenses and recovery. Vito's Mega Alakazam is my final obstacle. Golisopod safely emergency exits to assist Dragapult for the closing act of this twisted magic show. For my final trick, I will make Alakazam disappear. Now close your eyes. Abra, Kadabra, Alakazam. The coup de grace has been delivered and the curtain falls. Victory Road is conquered. Before I make final preparations, I need to go complete a few more side quests. Route 123, Meteor Falls, and Route 115 are optional, but locked behind them are some of the best held items like Focus Sash, Eject Button, Eject Pack, and Type Resist Berries. As one last middle finger from Run and Bun, I have to get through 18 more fights to acquire all of these top shelf cooking ingredients for my Elite Four. And 18 battles later, I'm standing at the gates. It's time to put everything I've learned to the test. Lock in or crash out. After 1 year, I'm finally in the Pokemon League lobby, making final preparations on the big day. Primarina, Urshifu, Slowbro, and Dragapult form my indomitable core, but what of my other two? Legend has it, the Sacred Nuzlocke texts require a new Pokemon that hasn't been champed in the small list of winners. Okay, this isn't actually a requirement, but what is a prime cut without only the best herbs and spices? Challenge accepted. And I'm bringing two new guys. Decidueye and Jirachi are Hall of Fame bound if I don't choke. While the champion fight is a singles battle, the other 4 members can be done as singles or doubles formats. Each member's singles and doubles rosters are different, and one must choose any combination of 2 singles and 2 doubles. My remaining 3 rare candies all go to Urshifu, Dragapult, and Decidueye, getting each of them to level 100. My 11 remaining heart scales get split amongst the party to bridge offensive and defensive gaps, change a few natures, and teach Primarina Encore. There's one spare scale that doesn't have a dedicated allocation, so I make a last-minute call before going in. Max defense on Dragapult plays around some really niche Phoebe scenarios, so that'll work. I'm ready. Let's begin. First up is Sydney Doubles, leading with Incineroar and Galarian Articuno. Since Primarina is holding a Choice Scarf with Hydro Pump, Incineroar always goes for Fake Out. In my other slot, Urshifu is holding my other Choice Scarf to outspeed Articuno, and he tears it apart with a single Wicked Blow. This baits out Sydney's own Urshifu. With Incineroar in position, I can start setting up shop. My Urshifu pivots into Slowbro on close combat, triggering Jaboca Berry to pop Sydney's Urshifu's Focus Sash. Meanwhile, Primarina encores to lock Incineroar into Fake Out. The big cat is caught in a playback loop, forced to fail Fake Out over and over. Dragapult and Urshifu now have the safe opening for a double switch into Fake Out and Wicked Blow respectively. Dragapult is running Secret Power to deal just enough chip damage on Incineroar without triggering a heal from Iapapa Berry. With Sydney's Urshifu exposed and sashless, mine wins the mirror match. Incineroar's Encore ends, and Sydney sends out Overquill. Everything is perfect so far. I've got him exactly where I want him. So Quillfish has a very interesting little move called Fell Stinger. So basically when Fell Stinger kills something, Quillfish gets an attack boost. Fell Stinger has special AI that if it sees a kill with Fell Stinger, the scoring completely trumps everything. So what should happen here is Quillfish is going to Fell Stinger into my Dragapult. So Dragapult is going to switch safely, and my Urshifu should now always kill Incineroar after that drop there because we're adamant. So Dragapult is going to switch into Primarina to eat the Fell Stinger, and I'm going to close combat Incin. It should always die. Okay, Incineroar should always die here. Perfect. Remember, Urshifu is -1 attack right now. This is accounted for. Should be Fell Stinger in the Primarina. Come on. That's so bad, dude. And in that moment, it hits me. I messed up. Bad. Remember that extra heart scale I fed Dragapult last minute for max defense? I didn't think much of it, but this bumped him just out of Fell Stinger range, and I forgot to adjust my pre-damage to account for it. So what even was the intended strategy? Overquill and Darkrai see kills into Primarina with Sludge Bomb and Gunk Shot. Jirachi then swaps into Soak, and Sydney's side fixates kills into Urshifu with both of their poison attacks. Jirachi then redirects the attacks with Follow Me to keep Urshifu safe as he picks off Darkrai. The Icy Wind speed drop completely changes the dynamics, and I'm now desperately steering out of a huge wipe angle. I'm about to lose my run. I need to cook a new plan on the fly. Now. Alright, Shifu in the bro. Here we go. We'd love to see double poison moves in the Jirachi here. That would be insane. Okay, nice. Okay, we're cooking. We got something going. Urshifu tags in for Slowbro, tanking the Dark Pulse. Overquill is still a huge threat though, seeing chances to attack either slot. My Elite Four is 100% over if either of my Pokemon get crit. The time has come to push the big red button I've been saving for an emergency. Jirachi, hit the flinch, come on. Please. Come on, 60% chance. Yes! Ooh, let's go. Let's go, baby. I think we're back. The line is back on track. and Urshifu is baiting clean kills from only poison moves. Follow Me draws in the evil energy as Urshifu sends Darkrai straight to hell. Gyarados enters to usher in the endgame. Once again, both enemies are targeting Urshifu, and Jirachi easily redirects both attacks, creating the opening for Decidueye to switch in. He's pre-damaged to proc Salic Berry for his speed boost, activate Overgrow, and bait Overquill's Fell Stinger. Jirachi continues playing bodyguard, keeping Decidueye clear to Leaf Storm Mega Gyarados into next week. Finally, a few pivots secure the winning position to clean up Overquill and claim victory over Sydney. We're still in this. Phoebe's gonna be another 2v2 to get my doubles out of the way. Lunala and Blastoise are her biggest threats into my team, so I've planned carefully around their kits. Phoebe leads Chandelure and Hisuian Decidueye. Urshifu shatters Chandelure into pieces with a single wicked blow as the Battle of the Owls is underway. I'm going bird for bird, and one crisp dual wing beat proves the superior brand of Decidueye, killing through the Focus Sash. Alola Supremacy. Following the double kill, Lunala and Giratina take to the battlefield. With two gods in front of me, I need to prioritize one at a time. Lunala is the bigger threat, with Shadow Shield cutting incoming damage in half while at full HP. Urshifu needs the shield gone yesterday. Since Lunala is holding a Power Herb, Meteor Beam into Decidueye is guaranteed this turn. Giratina will use a completely random move into this slot, however. As Lunala boosts its special attack and rips the Meteor Beam, Jirachi takes over for Decidueye, tanking the hit. Giratina's incoming attack has a 1 in 4 chance to be Flamethrower, working out to an under 1% chance to be the actual killing roll that would end Jirachi and my run. Jirachi holds as Urshifu slows Giratina with Rock Tomb. Lunala's Dark Magic flickers out, creating the opening for Urshifu to deliver the final blow with Sucker Punch. Jirachi needs to rest, and Primarina switches into Giratina's attack. Seeing the tide moving in my favor, Phoebe locks in and sends out her ace. Gengar thinks it can outspeed and kill me, but what it doesn't understand is Sucker Punch priority. In a single turn, Mega Gengar gets sent straight back to the twisted dimension it came from. On the other side, Giratina fails Poltergeist since my Dragapult swap is intentionally itemless. Phoebe's final back line is Giratina and Blastoise. Blastoise's Fake Out and Follow Me make for too much chaos for my plan to work properly, so I specifically routed it last. Urshifu baits Blastoise's Fake Out and Giratina's Shadow Sneak, opening the airways for Dragapult to drop a Draco Air Strike on Giratina. Dragapult swaps into Focus Blast as Dragapult finishes Giratina, Lord of the Distortion World. It's over for Phoebe, and her turtle withdraws into its shell one final time. With all my doubles out of the way, the rest of the Elite Four will be singles. Get ready for a fast and explosive brawl with Glacial. If all goes to plan, I'm doing this whole fight with Stealth Rocks up. It may seem odd, but no rocks means Urshifu is taking a hit and falling back on plan B. There's a 2.5% chance Mamoswine actually attacks. Mamoswine's Focus Sash forces Urshifu to double tap, and this is precisely why I wanted it to set hazards over attacking. Rocks do go up, and Urshifu beats the big pig unscathed. Enamorus is baited in for Moonblast. Jirachi shrugs off the blast easily, holding a Steel Gem to lock in the Oko even through a special attack drop. Steel Beam fires off, ripping through Enamorus with a silver hot beam of concentrated mercury. The temperature drops as Kyurem White enters the arena. Dragapult needs safe entry to get a shot lined up, and only Primarina has the typing to handle Kyurem's entire set. Rather than risking double crits to flip turn out, Primarina is using my single eject button to play it safe. As Dragapult switches in, a strange, never-before-seen bug shows itself. Kyurem takes chip damage from the rocks, potentially triggered by the eject button interaction. Nonetheless, this changes nothing for me, as Dragapult always saw kill from full HP anyways. He locks on the Kyurem, firing off Dragon Darts into the Frozen Terror. Since I also taught Flamethrower, Abomasnow is bypassed, baiting Arctivish instead. It's time to position Urshifu to clean up. Slowbro pivots through anything Arctivish can throw out, baiting a water attack into Decidueye safely. Leaf Storm tears apart the Ancient Beast, triggering Eject Pack off the special attack drop. Urshifu is launched into position. Mega Abomasnow sets the hail before getting folded by close combat. Calyrex gallops in, also getting faded by a Dark Gem boosted Wicked Blow. We're going to Drake. I'm feeling really confident going into the final member of the Elite Four. Just one of his Pokemon has me particularly worried. My battle plans for Suicune looked like a PowerPoint presentation. I'm talking pages of flowcharts to account for every timeline the legendary beast can summon. In the worst permutations, Cursed Decidueye is my backup option to wither away Suicune's HP even through several Calm Mind boosts. On the lead, Primarina braces through Dragapult's Steel Wing, one-shotting with a Fairy Gem boosted Draining Kiss. The massive healing is necessary to position for Drake's Reshiram. To secure tempo, Primarina tanks a hit, springing a slow flip turn out into Dragapult. One cycle of Dragon Darts confirms the kill into Reshiram, baiting Drake's most fearsome dragon yet, a Crawdon. Look, it learns Dragon Dance, alright? The only one doing the dancing here, though, is Urshifu. Switching in the Lash Out procs Rocky Helmet, chipping Crawdon as Urshifu bobs and weaves around its focus sash. Close combat crushes the crustacean, and Drake tries to tip the scales back in his favor. Zygarde, the guardian of balance, looms before me. I'm gonna need the best physical fortress out there for this job. Slowbro takes the spotlight, going Mega for the first and only time in this entire Elite Four. Zygarde almost certainly sets up coils to boost offense and defense, but Mega Slowbro's shell armor, 180 base defense, and recovery are built for this. Rather than go for the throat with Ice Beam immediately, I'm setting a trap. When under half health, Zygarde morphs into Zygarde Complete. Psychic chunks Zygarde just enough to lock in a kill confirm with Ice Beam without forcing the transformation. As Thousand Arrows pound down on Slowbro, he sets up Future Sight and heals up as needed. The exact turn before Future Sight pops, Zygarde goes down to Ice Beam. A Future Sight crit would be insane here. Okay, Future Sight pops. Dude, let's go. Dude, what can I say, baby? I think I'm just him. Primarina switches in, locking Suicune into Calm Mind and flip turning into Dragapult. Suicune is helpless as the Dragon Darts blast away at its Aurora armor. Drake's Ace Salamence goes Mega in one final attempt to swing a reversal. The Intimidate is useless, and a Life Orb boosted Draco Meteor strikes the mighty Drake down from the sky. The Elite Four is defeated, and all that remains is one final battle. Champion Wallace is the finale of Run and Bun. This is it. An entire year of grinding this game. Hundreds of hours of planning. The highest of highs and the lowest of lows have led me to this moment. I'm going in with all 6 Pokemon alive and a dream. A very specific line needs to be sequenced to deal with the Mega Swampert, and the margin for error is Razor's Edge. Primal Kyogre invokes Primordial Sea, summoning Heavy Rain for the entire battle. Dragapult has to be the one to kill this, and Slowbro is the perfect support to enable the line. Kyogre has a chance to use Thunder or Origin Pulse, so a held Wakan Berry ensures Slowbro never dies, even to crits. You probably noticed I kept him burnt for the entire Elite Four, and it was for this very moment to play around Paralysis from Thunder. Kyogre does nail the crit, but we were prepared. Slowbro connects the Rock Smash, dropping Kyogre's defense. Slowbro, buddy, we beat Emerald Kaizo together, and you lended me your power one last time. Goodbye, old friend. Dragapult jets in at Mach speed, firing off Dragon Darts to avenge his fallen partner. The Titan falls as Wallace sends out Hisuian Gudra. Dragapult tags out and Urshifu shrugs off Heavy Slam, dismantling Gudra with a single close combat. The biggest issue to plan around in the lab is now gazing into my soul with those blank, lifeless eyes. Augmented by Swift Swim, Wallace's Barraskewda is the single fastest enemy Pokemon fought in this entire game. She's holding a Choice Band, and she only knows Liquidation and Flip Turn. This Hellspawn is built to deny consistent routes through the fight due to Flip Turn, and I had to cook several backup plans. The heavens cry as this generational talent rips one last sucker punch. Unfortunately, Flip Turn means this demon will be back later. Palkia is baited, and Urshifu's death at least gets me a tempo reset as I send out Dragapult. The God of Spacetime is simply no match, and it folds to the almighty Dragon Darts. Okay, it should be Barraskewda coming back out. Barraskewda should come back out. Okay, I maybe wasn't quite low enough there. Let's see. So it's not Barraskewda. That's not great for me. The line is compromised, and Manaphy comes out too early. I realize at this moment that the last-minute heart scale for defense on Dragapult that almost screwed me on Sydney is punishing me yet again. The rest of this grand finale is off the rails. Manaphy has a unique setup move in Tail Glow that raises special attack by 3 stages. If I let the Sea Sprite get out of control, it's gonna sweep my remaining line of defense. Primarina encores Manaphy into Tail Glow, using the opening to get as much ship damage as possible. As the fully boosted Manaphy is freed from its shackles, Primarina goes down. It's paramount that Decidueye can kill with Leaf Blade to avoid getting Choice Scarf locked into Leaf Storm and suffering multiple stat drops. Primarina lobbed the perfect assist, and Decidueye slices up Manaphy for the kill. Barraskewda surges back onto the field, and while Decidueye can clean up, it would die to a crit. I still need my owl for Wallace's ace, so Dragapult has to take this one. If Dragapult gets crit here, it's gonna get really scary, but if it lives, we should be okay. I'm only dead to crit here. 90% of runners would reset the run at this point, but a box of encounters this strong is worth fighting an uphill battle for. So in most attempts, I take bigger risks here than I normally would. Most boss fights are this sweaty, with some taking multiple sessions to cook. Run and Bun dishes out hard punishment just for getting slightly unlucky sometimes. These situations really teach you not to be scared of losing a Pokemon, because sometimes going blood for blood is better than losing the entire run. My mental has taken a massive hit. All I had to do was remember to teach Beedrill Poison Jab. Another lesson learned. If I'm gonna beat this game, I need to double, no, triple check everything during planning. A few more blunders like this and my run is dead. So here I am at the grand finale of my tale. I don't think I can get out this time. My plan was airtight, but in my hubris, I got complacent and fumbled. After months of this, I don't know if I have an attempt 77 in me. I guess that's just how it goes. Oh, Magma Storm miss. Holy shit, no shot. There's no way we lose this. Oh, holy shit. That's Grunt 2, baby. We beat Emerald Kaizo. Gentlemen, get up for the run. This is the run. That's Seafloor Cavern. Let's fucking go. Woo! Like I said, this is the run. Signed, sealed, and delivered. Straight to your doorstep. Hold on. You're right. This is the run. No more half measures. Don't overthink this. It's just basic chemistry. I have an idea. Okay, I think we're doing this a little differently. Okay, hold on. This is a steer, but I think I got something nice. All right, we're chilling. I think we win. Okay, so skill swap was for Swampert, but we're going to be using it a little early here. We're going to be using skill swap a little earlier than planned, and that's fine. All right, we go Jirachi. Okay. I am dead to crit, but since I have a Focus Sash, this can never kill me. There's one way we can get faster than this. I was saving this for later, but we're busting it out early. We're gonna skill swap and take Swift Swim from it. I can never die here. If it crits me, Focus Sash triggers. Barraskewda is Serene Grace. I'm Swift Swim. I'm faster. Thunderbolt. A crit, okay. The crit's going crazy today. And then there was one. It's just me and big Mega Swampert. Mega Swampert is also Swift Swim, but Swift Swim Jirachi is faster. So we're gonna Icy Wind it and say goodbye to Jirachi. Or I could be super crazy and try to flinch with every single Iron Head until this dies. Imagine winning that way. Just kidding, we're not doing that. Okay, he's going Mega, getting Swift Swim. But I'm still faster. So I'm going to get an Icy Wind and lower its speed by 1. In the original line, I was going to sack into Swampert, Focus Sash Jirachi would never die. And then we skill swap this guy. Jirachi, we did it, buddy. You're going to be the first ever mythical to be champed in a fully streamed run of this game. Choice Scarf Decidueye. And as you know, Swampert does not like grass very much. Guys, quad weak. One last Leaf Storm for the run. Yes! We beat Run and Bun, baby! Oh! Yes! Let's go, baby! Woo! It's over! It's over! It's over! We won! Let's go! Dude, it's done. Attempt 76. Wow. The adrenaline is still pumping, dude. And I did it with the team I wanted to bring. I definitely had a better 6 I could have brought for a much safer E4, but I did it my way. And we are introducing 2 new Pokemon to the Hall of Fame. Never before champed. First mythical. Slowbro. Big buddy. Decidueye. My goat. Good old reliable Primarina. Dragapult the Demon. Jirachi, the Clutch God. That Iron Head flinch saved me, by the way. This could have ended a lot sooner. And Urshifu, just the Slayer. What a squad. All right, everybody. I will be back tomorrow morning to start something new. I will leave that a surprise for now, but the show must go on. We will be doing more. What's the challenge? What's the game? Who knows? You never know. But we keep climbing the mountain.